T-Gun Seymour, and we are looking for our champion team coming out of each state's high school.
Every time he calls me lovely, I ask him to stop. It's never going to stop, is it?
No, it's never going to stop, of course, Bradley, but we're in it. This is the first time I've called you Bradley as well, so
That's weird. That's usually when someone's angry with me.
I'm sorry, T-Gun. I'll get it back to normal. We're looking for our champion high school, and we start right here over the course of the next couple of days to find our finalists who will be coming in on October 20 to prove their might.
It's a very long road ahead for these teams. That cannot be understated. We have the start of it, obviously, today. This is the first half of the bracket.
Yep, so our first four states.
Another month until they hit the finals. It's something they can build towards, plan towards for some of these teams. It starts off today with New Zealand playing against Tasmania.
And of course, New South Wales and Queensland will be facing off in an age-old rivalry afterwards. But starting with New Zealand, starting with Tasmania, two very big states who are kind of off the chain, because we're in New South Wales, Tegan. I mean, like,
hold on a second.
We're a little bit far
Can
away.
we call New Zealand a state? Are they going to, we're going to offend some viewers here.
It's the Australian and New Zealand high school nationals.
It's still not a state.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Okay, all right. But they're representing their country then.
Yeah, that's even bigger.
They've got a bigger task ahead of them.
They have the weight of their country on their shoulders. It's a great team, mind you. They put forward 5 incredible players for a high school league to have such talent in their roster. It's amazing. We'll get to their roster a bit later.
But this is really important, just to interject there. This is really important because this is where talent develops, right? Now, you and I have been doing the OCS, and if anyone hasn't tuned in, the Challenger Series is, the B-grade players trying to get into the OPL. But these high school players are trying to get to the level where they can compete further down the track in the OCS and then eventually maybe make the OPL.
They're also taking this on while prioritizing their study. They have such a workload on them to then also still be competing at a pretty solid level, still putting themselves to the test and looking to the future. It's a pretty big ask for a lot of them is, how well can you develop in this team environment, placing a lot more stress on you, as well as obviously your studies, your tests, your exams coming up. It's a big ask.
Hard to balance.
I would love to be in this position. I wasn't blessed enough to have this as a sporting
Neither was I, to
at
be
school.
fair. I think we were playing different games back then anyway.
Yeah, I was probably playing volleyball or something. I don't know.
Wow, outside scum. No. In high school, you don't get many opportunities, right? And that's why this is, again, so really, really important for these students. Now, coming into today, there's going to be a lot of names we don't know, but this is the stage for them to make themselves known. And for organizations, like after that, you look at Chiefs and you go, Chiefs might have their eyes on some of these players after today.
Yeah, you look at someone like Direwolves, for example, who we spoke to at length during the OCS because their talent scouting, their back-end staff, they were just insane in terms of finding players that can make the step up. We look at BioPanther, we look at Udisoft, 2 players that came from the OCS, played in the OPL in the same season. BioPanther still yet to be defeated in the OPL.
Of course.
Probably never will be, mind you. And they're the sort of teams that will look at games like this, look at the talent in these games and think, 1 or 2 years down the line, this could be someone we invest in.
So let's start with these rosters, though, because who is the BioPanther of today? We don't know just yet. We're going to watch
I can give you a name.
4 different states.
I can definitely give you a name. LGD Somnus M. That's a bit of a mouthful, as are a lot of the players.
Obviously not an LGD player, if anyone's wondering at home.
But he's someone I've ran into in solo queue.
Yeah.
He is an incredible talent to be playing, in the high school league. It's almost unfair to his opponents.
How do you balance that, though?
That's a good question.
And maintaining Challenger Elo?
That's a great question. That's something for him, not for me. But he is a very good player. He's an exceptional talent. He's someone we could see in the OCS next season if he's old enough to play.
What were you back when you were in high school?
I was not playing League.
Okay, what were you back in university?
No, I wasn't playing League. I was playing a different game.
Okay.
You're not going to get me to say it on broadcast. I value my job.
Yeah, no, me too. I was going to say it before. That's all right. So with this Challenger player leading the charge, what do you look at the response from Tasmania? Like, is it as strong?
You need teamwork. You can't look at an individual player. There are some teams where you can do that. You can put all of your eggs on the one basket in mid or AD or whatever role they play and say, this person will lead us to victory. We see that still in the OCS and even some games in the OPL where it all amounts to, can this player carry their team? And that's going to be what a lot of teams can do, like New Zealand might do here. On the side of Tasmania, they need to come at it as a team. Find a real way to mesh together, play those wombo combo styles. Your Oriana, your Zach, have a lot of synergy.
These guys have been playing together a little bit.
Yes.
I like interjecting you a little bit. Hey, Tegan, these guys have been playing together because we go through the state finals. These are the top teams coming out of each and every region. So they have played together. They have, meshed well. And that's why they're in this position. So in terms of that macro playstyle that we want to see here today, I think we'll be pleasantly surprised.
Well, they're not only just playing in the tournaments against the other schools. I had a little bit of a perusal through their solo queue accounts, through how they were playing, and they're playing ranked fives together. They're meshing as a team in every opportunity they get. They're taking this quite seriously. So it's not like we're seeing these fresh teams, these just 5 people from the school that all happen to play being thrown together. They are working as a unit to improve. And like I said, Tasmania, their goal is very likely to be find a lot of teamwork, like we see QUT do in the OCS. Whereas New Zealand, they might look towards playing closer to a solo queue, a superstar style play, where you can let your individuals shine.
You start playing around this LGD member, you start playing around your strongest player.
If I was on New Zealand, absolutely.
Yep.
How can you look at a player who, while he's in school, is still hitting Challenger tier games, Challenger ELO constantly, and not say this is our man to get behind?
But having said that, when we, because we're going to compare to the OCS, that's what we know and love, and after this, we're going to love the high school league anyway, so we'll start comparing to that. But there is one thing that we've noticed in the OCS, and that 5-man play style, playing together as a cohesive unit, is so much more important than individual skill. Every single time as we jump into pick and bans for our very first game, this is going to be Tasmania taking on New Zealand. So we are live as well, Tegan, so that means 8-17.
8-17. I'll talk
8-18, excuse me.
I'll talk about changes as they present themselves, but what you're going to see in draft and in playstyle isn't really patch related. It's going to be more specific on players. I guarantee Tasmania going into this are going to look at Somnus M. They're going to focus on dealing with his champion pool, restricting his champions, making sure they put him on something that they feel they can deal with and play around. Whereas on the side of New Zealand, they'll likely look at more individual picks. They're going to look at something like your Zed, which cops the first ban, and go, we don't want to deal with someone just getting out of control.
But remember, this is the best of 1 as well. So in the starting stages, until you get to the semi-final where it's a best of 3, and then you can start looking at your draft, at this point, those individual niche picks, those standout picks are how you put yourself on the stage. And with those 3 bans, the Lucian, the Zyra, and the Zed, Kai'Sa naturally being the first pick here on blue side.
Kai'Sa the first pick, Dream would take in a heartbeat, and makes quite a lot of sense. Probably the strongest ADC still left in the game.
Yep.
Tristana, the answer is, in my opinion, a conservative Kai'Sa.
But it's been rising up.
It has been, but the playstyle is essentially what Kai'Sa does. You play this heavy carry that scales into the late game, but it plays at a safer distance. You can't go in really aggressively, as we see Kai'Sa do so often. We see her jump into the backlines, go as far forward as possible, try and kill key targets. Tristana's all about just sitting back, chunking through people front to back.
Maybe with the time Kench enables it just that little bit easier. The Sejuani finally gets locked in over the Gragas. And time Kench, something that we saw kind of rising back, especially in the Chinese region, especially in Korean region as well. And now finally we see it once again.
Yeah, we saw it fall away a little bit when it copped the nerfs. The WCD got absolutely monster nerf, put to, I believe it was around double the original cooldown.
Yep.
And it's still just come back into play. People said, you know what, this is so useful, so versatile, and such a great frontliner, you need to take it. On the side of New Zealand, we see Sion picked up.
Here we go.
Now, that's not something you see often in competitive. So we'll dwell on it for a little bit.
Not here, at least.
But Sion, as a pick, is great for individual playstyle. It's great for when the skill level is a little lower, because it naturally is going to be a little lower in this sort of a game.
But also the change in meta and the change now to 8-18. I mean, the last time we saw Oceanic play was 8-16. So these guys essentially, although be it high school league, they're leading the charge. And it's something that the OPL players don't get to do anymore. OCS, they're done for the year. Now it's up to these guys to kind of set the tone in where Oceania will go.
Yeah. You see, bans following through, still targeted more towards people rather than the patch notes, rather than pioneering these patch changes, trying to find the next incredible pick, the next S tier. Shen locked in on the side of Tasmania after the Tahm Kench as well. So they're sort of saying, even though Shen has found more of a niche down in bot lane now as a support champion, they're still going to take a top, play for that teamwork, get the rotations coming through, have your top lane helping your bot, your mid, make sure you are able to help out your team work as that cohesive unit.
See if that can work out, because for Tasmania, that global pressure is going to be a key factor. Galio was taken off the board straight afterwards, and doesn't look like they want to pile it up. The Lulu as well. Final bans, Anivia and Fizz, and unique bans coming in across the board. They'll just smack down on Jax.
In. Sorry.
So that's Jax jungle.
Jax jungle. This is a complete, just sort of unique team comp.
You wanted to see it.
This is something you want to see when you want to see individual skill, and you want to see things that can shine through, things that your opponent is not exceptional, is not waiting for, is not used to playing against. And I guarantee, looking at this lineup right now, New Zealand will be questioning themselves. They'll be saying, how do we approach this team comp? Yasuo is a great pick, dealing with the Tristana. Completely locks her out of the fights, but you still have the Jax to deal with.
And the Brom, the final pick as well, the Yasuo Brom. And it looks like a pretty easy composition from New Zealand. The drafting phase, quite straightforward. And Tasmania just want to throw the curveball.
Oh, without a doubt, and that's as they should. New Zealand have went for a stock standard safe draft. The only sort of outlier pick is the Scion, and even that's not too outlandish. And then you look over at Tasmania, bringing back the Jax jungle, bringing back the Shen top lane.
Bringing back the Echo mid, Tiga.
They are all throwback picks. They're all individual picks, and they're the sort of picks that can catch you off guard. How they utilize them, how they make it work as a team is the more interesting note. Yet to be seen. You know, that's the sort of thing that we have to see how it progresses. The Tristana is going to have a difficult time. Yasuo and Braum, both champions picked specifically to lock her out of fights. Trying to find avenues in, targets to hit is going to be a big task.
But again, I'm impressed because for Tasmania, these individual picks are best of one. It's so important to note that drafting can be completely out the window for a best of one. It's one game that defines a week. And again, relevancy back to QUT. 1 week can define a game. And especially here, when you go into the semi-finals on the same day, that first game is key.
It also says a lot about your semi-final placing, though. If Tasmania go through to the semi-final, suddenly they've shown all their cards. Whoever they place in the semi-final, be it whoever it is, knows that they can pull out the Jax jungle. Shen is now flexible to top lane. They have a propensity to pick the Tristana once Kai'Sa is off the table. So you can learn from that draft, whereas New Zealand, they haven't given away anything. If they make the best of 3, drafting against them, you just have to assume they're just playing stock, standard, safe, and the best picks.
Yeah, they are, and especially when they've got, I guess, the highest player there to kind of lead the charge out of all 10. Then you go, all right, there's confidence in New Zealand. But again, we don't know how Tasmania play in that group. You know, state finals came through. They qualified. They're the best group for a reason. And I think rank here just has nothing to do with it when you put 5 members together and you see what they're made of.
Yeah, once you go from solo queue into ranked 5s, you're right. Rank has nothing to do about it. We see players.
You can tell me.
We see players who aren't at the top of Challenger that are exceptional in competitive play, and that's because teamwork is so important. But it's something they have to build as a team, and you might not know too much about it. As you sit there with a smug smile, but it is the truth.
All right, I throw out fire. I'm going to get burnt myself. No, look, and to argue the point as well, it's not about rank. Thank you very much for confirming that for me, Tiga. We are about to jump in, ladies and gentlemen, in a couple of minutes, but before we do that, we're looking deeply at Tasmania because this is such a unique draft. We've got Echo in the mid lane, Jax jungle, which I think we saw earlier in the split, earlier in the year once.
Maybe once, if that. It's such a niche pick. They have avenues to success.
Good niche.
Jax, if Jax gets ahead from the jungle, is suddenly stronger than a solo laner. You can give the Scion up, you can give the Yasuo up, Jax will be able to 1v1 both of them. So it was a massive pick for Tasmania if they can make it work. But that's easier said than done.
Is it easier to execute than the team of New Zealand?
No.
Which is so stock standard, it's like...
Without a doubt,
straightforward.
No. New Zealanders just go in as a unit, fight 5v5 front to back. Scion goes in, headbutts whoever he can, and as a unit, you just collapse in and work your way through the whole team. On the side of Tasmania, they have to play so careful. Everything has to work in a specific way that if you don't get the fights off, if you can't make it all come together, then you are going to lose team fights, but they have the outs. The Jax split pushing, for example, that's a way they could approach the game.
Yeah, no, they definitely could. But again, if that Jax falls behind, you've suddenly got an issue on your hand. And if it comes down to individual lanes, then maybe New Zealand feel more comfortable. They can get an early lead. They can dominate these lanes that maybe they weren't intentionally meant to dominate. And that's where things become interesting. In best of ones, again, like the drafting, let's take that out of the way for a second. Tactics can be used that really shape a game. You with me here?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Oh,
especially, well, as I always do, level 1s set the tone of the game. In a best of 1, you go in, you invade, you try and find an early kill, get in your opponent's head. That can be the game breaker. That can be what leads you to win a game, and that's what I want to do in best of 1s. I want to see people step out of the ordinary. Don't go in. The draft is over. Stop mouthing Blitzcrank at me. I want to see it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not happening here.
All right, well, maybe not in this one, but especially we've got another best of 1 to go, but I'll stay in this one for now. I apologize. I don't think a best of 1 is going to define how best of 3 is played, just continuing on with format. I don't think if, we see these niche picks, we see these comfort picks, it doesn't mean Tasmania, if they're able to progress and climb over New Zealand, we do not see a Tasmania that spices things up in a best of 3, that suddenly the draft becomes different. There's opportunity.
let's look at an OPL player or a former OPL player now. A little bit of a sad note is Shock. He is a player who would come in and show these niche picks off time after time after
I thought you were gonna
time.
talk about loss, but
right?
yeah, keep going.
Yeah, we'll go that way later. Where he would pick something like Urgot mid. That would just be completely out of the blue, and he would dominate his opponent with it. But he would still then be able to go into the next game, go back to something like Oriana, and be extremely good on that as well. So while you do show these niche picks, show this unique playstyle, it doesn't mean you cannot play the other way. You cannot go back to playing your stock standard, your Kai'Sa bot, your Braum bot. Right? It just shows that you have that versatility, that you can throw a curveball when it's needed. And like I said before the game, I think it is necessary here. New Zealand coming into this whole series,
they represent the country.
They are the favorite. Make no mistake about it. They have 5 exceptional players, 5 players who have no right to be as good as they are, as young as they are.
I guess because when you grab New Zealand, there's a lot of land mass there. And especially if you come through the state finals of New Zealand, I mean, it's an impressive feat for all these teams, don't get me wrong. But if you come through the state final of a country, I mean, that's like their own national that they've just attached to ours as well, right?
The state final of a country.
Yeah.
You just said that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
It has to, Teagard, because it's New Zealand. It's not Auckland.
Yeah, the
it's
country.
Not Queenstown. So they're representing the country. I don't think this could be hyped up enough.
No, it can't. But Tasmania, they come in as the underdogs. They need to be showing
They're
these
also
unique
like
picks.
a little country, yeah. They are! A little island.
Oh
I love Tasmania, mind you. Apart from the cold weather, it's just not that pleasant. Worse than Melbourne.
I'm not getting into this today.
No, that's all right.
No,
You
I'm staying
continue.
completely out of this. I just want to talk about how Tasmania as a team have come together to show the unique picks, to show the ability to possibly upset the favourites here, the New Zealand team.
Yeah.
They have shown that you pick something like Jack's Jungle. That is something that can get out of control. That if you scale it enough, that you snowball enough, they can very easily take this game away. On the other side, you have Tristana ADC, another champion that if you go into a late game, if you start scaling, you can easily take a game from a superior opponent. So they
is quite
give
valid,
themselves
yeah.
avenues to success. Now they have to showcase that in the playstyle as well.
We saw that Tristana in the promotion tournament. We saw Tectonic pick it up multiple times. I think Trance just picked it up game after game after game. He's confident with the pick, and maybe it was that adaptation to the forethought of, oh, okay, this is going to become a lot more relevant. It was a niche pick back then. Now it's kind of adapted a little bit more, but I think Tristana is, Sky, you said it yourself, has the ability to skyrocket ahead. Something like an Echo as well has that same ability. And it's been so long since we've seen an Echo, but yay, we're finally in. Here we go. New Zealand, Tasmania, they'll jump into the first high school nationals game. I was trying to word that a little bit better, but I tried in the end. It's a best of 1, so everything on the line here.
For me, the most important thing early, and like I said it before, is the early jungle pathing. Your Jax doesn't want to be fighting. He simply wants to power farm. Stay on his own side. Stay wherever he wants to be. Don't impact the enemy jungle. Don't go anywhere near them. So for the first, I wouldn't say 5-6 minutes, he doesn't want to find Sejuani. He doesn't want to find anyone from New Zealand. Just stay on his own. Keep it pretty much PvE. Fight monsters. Don't fight the enemy.
Oh, yeah. I think it's an important thing to note as well that now this is not going to sound wise, Tegan, but I want you to make words of it. You're only as good as your own performance. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense,
Okay.
yeah.
Did it actually make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's
You've
go with
tried
that.
your best. You've worked.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
So I think it's important to note that as well. If we can see some individual priority here from the Tasmanian squad, it's where they get things rolling and then maybe the macro game things change.
Sorry to be completely different thought process altogether, all right? But this is played on the live servers. Patch doesn't even matter to me right now because all I'm thinking is they can use emotes.
Oh, you can!
They could emote each other all game long. It's just hit me. And I am the type of person to spam emotes all lane long.
Of course you
I
are.
will sit there throwing up the blitzcrank, throwing up the question mark, anything I can to get under my opponent's skin. I'm not a great role model. I'll give you that. But I'm the type of person that will stand there and just try and tilt my opponent in the right way. I'm not abusing them. I'm just throwing up the blitzcrank question mark whenever they miss an ability.
I feel like you wouldn't be thinking about it in this situation, but we don't know. Maybe New Zealand are different. This is some heavy trading from Bites Zadusto. That is going to be a fun name to say.
A lot of them are just great, aren't they?
It's all the way back.
This takes me back to before we had such Such great organization for our competitive leagues back when we were just playing on live servers where people's names were a lot less PG.
I mean, Bites the Dusto is PG.
Oh no, yeah, that one is, but there are some borderline ones.
I think this game, look, we're safe this game anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely no dramas already. Look at this, White Pallet poking his nose in now. Fennekin is level 2. Going to be spotted out by a ward. He knows that Sejuani is near, but the gank is coming top. Shen's going to be in a bit of trouble. He hasn't given the respect over to White Pallet, but he still has the Shadow Dash all the way out, so maybe there was respect indeed.
And this is exactly what Fennekin doesn't want to happen. Like I said before, he wants to play PvE. He wants to hit monsters, not the enemy, and White Pallet recognizes that. He decides that he's not going to let Jax play his game. He is going to invade at every opportunity, try and harass him, off-buff him. Again, the early award coming back in here to contest this red. Level 3 versus level 2. Fennekin does not win this battle.
Oh, Smite almost misses as well. Red doesn't go over. White Pallet takes it, and this looks like a first blood. The Counter-Strike will come through. Fennekin has to flash, but Red stolen away by Sejuani.
Smite missing by the smallest of margins.
2 HP, by the way.
White Pallet comes in, takes it away, and more pain thrown towards the Jax. Steals away a camp. Base attack trying to help get it whatever he can, but can't get anything. And proactivity there from New Zealand's the name of the game.
Yeah, White Pallet.
They understand what Jax wants to do. White Pallet, like you said, goes in, gets the steal. 2 camps gone now, and Jax much worse for wear.
Well, he's 2 levels behind at the moment. White Pallet just goes over to Krugs, and he's looking to take away everything. Deny Fennekin even further. Now, top lane can come in here, but Dusto is at his turret.
Yeah, the priority here from Sion.
Yep.
That means Sejuani can do this. Sejuani can just live in the jungle. You have priority lanes. Your lanes are pushing into the turrets. Suddenly, going in, stealing those golems after the red, after the Raptors is an opportunity, is something you can actually do.
In every lane as well. Talk about that lane priority. Mid is 20 CS up, bottom lane 10. Pushing in the Tristan and Tahm Kench. And this is an issue right now. New Zealand, every single lane seems to be dominating.
Yeah, Jax needs to find somewhere where he can farm safely. Somewhere where he can just be on his own. And 2 Raptors, yes, that's a start, but he needs camps. He needs to get down to that Gromp. And hopefully, White Pallet isn't there as well, because right now, everywhere Jax has gone, Sejuani has followed.
Yeah, White Pallet finally starting to take some of his own jungle after this long of a wait. He got the Scuttle Crab bot before, and the top one will be respawning right about now. So he'll pick that up, should be able to hit level 5 off this, and top lane's pushed out, so maybe that's where he goes next. Oh my lord!
What a trade.
That hurts.
The priority here from Kai'Sa Braun, they are going to be pushing in the Tristana no matter what. They're just a stronger 2v2. The Tahm Kench has to be so defensive, and when you hit every ability, that's what happens. Now Sejuani back up top again. Kenshi gets Shen.
I think Dusto just walked this out. Shadow Dash should still be available. He uses it and saves it. So good individual play out of the top laner of Tasmania.
Saves himself yet again from another gank, absorbing all of this pressure for his team. Now, Fennekin looking for an avenue in bot. Could use that blast cone in to get behind them, but Tristana's health is so low already that getting a gank off here is so difficult for Tasmania to make work.
And remember that O6 isn't going to have that pressure from the Tongue Lash. He'll find 2 hits, but he gets stunned down.
He could flash
He'll
in, go
already
for the
use, jumps in. Athletic getting hit hard. First blood goes over to Brom, but now the exhaust is out. It's a 2v2, but Tongue Lash eventually takes it down. Mid lane ignites were dropped, but we're still on bot. There's going to be the Tongue Lash to find the stun, and Jax forces the flash out. Fennekin now getting chased up. The re-engage from White Pallet. O6 pops him all the way back out. I think that'll be the end of it. Looks like a 1-for-1 trade.
A 1-for-1. Both supports nabbing the kills, so neither side really gets the best of it. Jax getting active, finding avenues in, getting the assists there. There were no camps left for Fennekin to go find. So he finds a way into the bot lane, releases a little bit of the pressure there, but now White Pallet looking to put the pressure back on
and he
for New Zealand.
definitely is. Fennekin forced to stop his back. He's 20 CS behind. He's probably going to lose his blue if it's not taken by Fennekin now as well.
And there's no way they can defend this. Everyone just had to recall. All of New Zealand is pushing in. Fennekin trying to take away this blue, almost stealing away his own blue at this point, while White Pallet takes away the wolves for himself.
He's just leaving it as well. It's like, have your blue. I'll be back.
Gives him the scraps.
I mean, blue's not really a scrap, let's be quite honest.
It is with how White Pallet is playing. He has been taking away everything he can. You get 1 camp out of your 6 at this point. That is a scrap.
It does not feel good. And really, when mid lane is 30 CS behind now, almost 40, Echo, what's he going to do with the blue buff? Sominus just bullying him out every time he goes for a CS. It's punishing.
That wind wall there was great. He wind walled the Echo. Just perfect
second time wonder, right?
It is incredible. No, the first hit, it wasn't coming back. It was going out.
Okay.
It was split second. This kid is he's so much better than he has any right to be. I feel I'm already a fan going into the Echo.
Last breath. There's going to be the chrono break. He has to flash all the way out. So T-Gun, just as you're talking him up, maybe a little over-ambitious.
Maybe, but you have to be that way. You have to be trying to find your limits at every opportunity. And Jax, again, trying to get his camp.
There's no chrono break available. Summoners has no summoners, but maybe not. I'll take it back. Over-ambitious play, and Face Attack finally gets some reprieve.
Summoners goes in a little too... Pala comes in and smites it away anyway.
Okay.
I was about to say Summoners goes in as his team is collapsing, but before they get there. So Face Attack and Fennekin can clamp down, get the kill quickly, and get out. But White Pallet still comes in and smites away the camp, goes up, takes the golems again. Another 2 camps taken away. Fennekin only gets his buff once again.
But he gets his red. This time he finally gets the red. So let's look at the positive here for Tasmania, because there is some growing play. Control Ward dropped at that red pit, and now finally White Pallet's going to be a little bit too late to the party, but they've got that information on the board. Tasmania, what are they going to do with it?
To me, they just have to weather the storm. You can't claw back all of this deficit you have right now in one fell swoop. You can't look for some big team fight or some adventurous gank. That simply isn't ever going to work out. You simply have to say, we've been bullied a bit here. White Pallet is all up in my business, taking all of my camps.
Oh, yeah.
Just sit back, let it sort of stabilize, wait for your scaling to start kicking into effect, look for an opportunity to Shen ultimate somewhere. Get active with the Echo, and that is how you get back into this game. Somnus, however, looking to get active in the top lane, diving as Shen's a different
charge
path.
actually lands, everything looks calculated, and that's bad news bear for Dusto as LGD gets his first.
Sion hits everything there. Charge nails the Yasuo. Yasuo ultimate connects. Now Echo looking for Somnus.
He's going to get the stun there on the W. Ignite dropped immediately. Chrono break as well for the damage, and I think Somnus knows he's dead. The wind wall there. I don't know what's happening. Sejuani's there. So maybe overconfidence there from Face Attack. White Pallet will stop the kill, and Somnus somehow survives.
Sejuani there at the very last second. Flings the ultimate out, saves Somnus on 1 health. That was nothing. That was a caster minion's attack, and he was gone. But White Pallet once again all over the shop. I'm talking up Somnus. I should be talking up White Pallet, who has been active every single place he could be. In the jungle, in the top lane, in mid lane now. The only place he hasn't visited, and I'm sure he'll be there soon, is bot lane.
I'm sure he definitely will. Bot lane's having a good time by itself though. 25 CS up, and at the moment, DK looks like it will be the first item Gwiznus. So, party in the bot lane, and then all business up top.
You're right, first item Gwiznus makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of brawling down there. You're going to keep that up. Fennekin gets the crab, I believe he got it.
He got it.
He did.
All right.
So finally getting one back for the Tasmanian team, getting a camp away from the Sejuani when it's being contested. That is a godsend for Fennekin right now, because on the other side, if it isn't White Pallet, it's Somnus trying to take your camps away.
Everyone is just in such a comfortable position, T-Gun. All lanes are up, and you can see it visually on the board, and just plainly in that CS. White Pallet 30 up, and now bullying Fennekin. I'm not even sure he thought he was going to find the Jax, but Fennekin, if he stays, he will die.
You see Shen coming over, trying to hover, trying to help. But
hang on, he got it. So Fennekin got the Krugs. Now White Pallet's going to have to 1v2. One comes in, remember the Righteous Glory just picked up, and Dusto just has to back off. Fennekin gives up the camp, and he'll dodge away from the knockup, but that's about it.
He gives up the camp, but he got the big Krug, he got the big Golem.
He's now stealing back.
It's all the saving grace. It's all the small things that are going to add up for the Tasmanian team. And we saw Shen hovering over. Bites of the Dusto was trying to get in there to help his jungler, but they lose that 2v2. Speaking of losing a 2v2.
DK's just picked up the first kill. This is going to be a double going over to the Kaiser. Ostix is going to pop grey health, but second skin comes forward. Emote's finally used well, and DK picks up his double.
That's a Braum after my heart, as well as DK getting in there. Lovely.
They've figured it out. They're like, hang on, yeah, we can use emotes. We're not on tournament realm.
Kaiser Braum finding an end to the 2v2. Such a strong lane. Like I said before, Tristana Tum have to play so defensively, so passively, and they just cannot match the strength of Kaiser Braum. New Zealand with a double kill in the bot lane on Kaiser right after she picks up the Gwinsu.
Such an easy to execute composition. That's what we were saying. It's being shown here. New Zealand up 5,000 gold just about. And every single lane just making its impact. And for their first game on stage, I mean, let's call it a stage because that's what it is. No.
He's going to do it.
Oh,
he did it! No!
And drops the emote as well. Lemon Lord.
Oh my god.
You animal. You savage animal. Give Fennekin something. Because in the mid lane, base attack's going to get nothing as well. Sominus, now after seeing the Sonya's being used, has to be careful because there's still a Chrono Break available, but it's what happens with the rest of the map. Always something there for New Zealand.
They're being so proactive. We were talking before how these teams might not have as much experience. Might be at a little less skill level than we're used to seeing, but New Zealand are being so proactive everywhere. They know they have the lead. They're taking everything they can. Now, Braum is trying to steal blue and it worked.
It worked.
That should not be allowed.
But you know what? That's something you're like, when your whole team is ahead and you feel confident, that's just something you're like, guys, I'm going to start making some fun plays.
No, that's where you're on TeamSpeak, you're on Discord, whatever voice comes you're on, you're like,
TeamSpeak?
You're like, guys,
Yo.
I'm going to steal this blue. Watch it. Watch me do it.
All right. Well, Fennekin doesn't have a blue buff. Not that it'd make a difference here, but he is still a level behind, but he's 3 levels behind in this mid lane. Now, Jack's jungle can be really fun when you're ahead, but when you're following a Sejuani, it hurts. And this is how Fennekin's going to have to prove himself in a best of 1 to recover for Tasmania. I feel like it's going to be about this Jax.
I tell you what, we've got to give credit where credit is due. Fennekin has been under pressure this whole game.
Yep.
Everyone has been in his jungle. It doesn't matter which person. The only one that hasn't been in his jungle is Kaiser. And he has sort of just kept himself in the game. Getting assists, getting some CS, finding ways in. He's not that far behind the Sejuani. So yes, he's getting all of this pressure thrown at him. He's not scaling like he wants to, but he is not getting kicked out of the game. He's still maintaining relevancy.
Well, let's see how far he scales, how far the game goes. So at this point, things are starting to speed up. 15 minutes in, but we're still in laning phase. So at this point, T-Gun, it feels like it still doesn't favor Tasmania sticking around and not making proactive moves.
But I would hazard a guess that this is where they want to be in laning phase. Yes, it's not benefiting them.
They're going to be able to make a counterplay, though, because Oztix has to flash forward. Goes DK. He'll ult back as well, and Fennekin just can't get in time. The Icathian Rain almost deletes who's getting. And now they just have to back off.
Yeah, the pressure's becoming too much, and I was saying that they're all right in these laning phases. They're all right as the pressure comes in because New Zealand aren't taking big objectives. They're not rotating onto towers, onto dragons, trying to set up things.
But here we go.
Rift Herald takes the first tower down bot.
Okay, all right.
That will almost certainly get a second tower if the bot lane of New Zealand sticks around. And now objectives are going to start falling. Now that gold lead, which was sitting at the 5,000 mark, is going to start ballooning out. Top tower falling as well. And suddenly, as soon as it rains, it pours to Tasmania.
Well, I mean, it also falls for New Zealand, apparently. Right now, Tasmania, they're trying to make a flanking play, but DK's already out of there. White Pallet and Lemon Lord, I feel like they could take the Tristana. Stand United going straight on him, but the Permafrost slows him down, and everyone's going in. Bon Appetito wants to get Delito. He sets up the ult, and Dominus is there. Sominus picks up one. The Wombo's coming through, and everyone is getting deleted. New Zealand say, we are the country, we're going to make it proud, and Face Attack is the last man standing. But really, for how long? DK sets his mid laner up with a triple kill, and New Zealand press go.
Pretty clean team fight there from New Zealand. Everyone reacts really well to a collapse there from Tasmania. Tasmania trying to make that proactive play to pull themselves back into the game, couldn't get it to work because New Zealand reacted so well. Everyone knew what was happening, collapsed as a team. First time we've seen Sion get active into a team fight, teleports in, and what a tank he is. No one could even hurt him in that team fight, even though Tristana hitting him as best she could.
And really, with such a messy team fight, you'd expect more deaths from NZ because they got rotated on. There was the flank. There was an opportunity that Tasmania wanted to take, but everything goes wrong, and they're now 11k gold behind. Sominus just got everything in that fight, and DK picked up the scraps.
As well as DK, like you said, Sominus got everything. DK never hindered.
Yeah.
Auto-attacking the whole time.
He should have died about 10 times there. Speaking of death. Dusto has found himself Lemon Lord, but face attack goes in with the phase dive, and he meets with DK. Chrono Break's there. He has to use it now, and eventually does, but on the back, Dusto sets up the fight. They've found DK, but he ults away. Will he burn down? No. Lemon Lord saves his 80 carry, and there's the wombo from Bon Appetito. Thank you very much. I'll take my meal to go. Dusto is getting added to the takeaway cart, and he'll just run for his life as the Scion just doesn't die. Everyone knocked up, and DK picks himself up his 6th.
You want to talk about Scion not dying? How about Kai'Sa not dying? Once again, on the very edge of her life, survives, and now they try and chase down Fennekin as well. Mid tower gone, the inner being worked on, in New Zealand, they look like they were caught. Echo went in there, didn't want to go over that wall, I guarantee you that.
What?
But they still turn it around somehow. New Zealand just winning these fights.
They're so far ahead at this point as well, and Baron has not even spawned. So right now you're going Tasmania. You're on the brink of destruction here in the best of ones, starting out with the quarterfinals. And it's all up to that one play, because it has to start soon.
You have to find someone. You have to look at Somnus or at DK, trying to find them.
And they almost did.
Hanging themselves too far. Try and find them in the jungle. Look for kills, because when you're down this much gold, 14,000 gold, you do not win fights ever. It doesn't matter how well you play them.
But you do find picks.
You need to find picks. That is the only avenue back into this game. You farm whatever you get. Much like Fennekin's early game, a lot of it is going to be restricted.
Oh, there you go.
Look at face attack here. This
One
is what
hit,
you need
he
to
just
do.
ults, and face attack does not have the chrono break. One more hit, the phase dive doesn't land, and face attack, right mind, but wrong execution.
It's the right idea, just like you said, but just not enough damage. DK survives, and
look, I'm not even sure Shenol's gonna do anything. Somnus picks up another, and Tasmania just like, who do we focus?
there's 2 people here, but I still think Yasuo wins this.
I mean, he almost has last breath available. No, it's a quarter off cooldown. Fennec will ult once again, and he finds the stun onto Somnus, but Exhaust maybe dropped down. The Ignite, one caster minion sets up the kill, and O6 just gets decimated. Double kill for the Yasuo.
Yasuo is just insane right now. Way out of control. 7-1 with a couple hundred CS almost, and I don't think there is a single person on the field for Tasmania that can ever deal with him, much less 2. I still don't think there's any 2 people that can deal with him. You need to bring the whole squad over.
You do. And then if DK's there as well, you need about 2 more squads on top of that. And right now, Tasmania, they've made a bit of a statement in the early game, going against New Zealand's flow. We'll say flow. But now the Baron, that looks absolutely fantastic thanks to Odyssey, is going to be started up by New Zealand.
I love, just as a side note, that the small things in this game, like the Baron skin changing, just happen so
armor
seamlessly.
now. Look at it.
It happens so seamlessly. Like if you started up the game for the first time today, you wouldn't think that was an event. You'd think that fits right in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think things like that as well, you go, there's some really good design. You know, the people that don't get appreciated enough. The design is, again, you said seamless, I want to say flawless. Same thing, isn't it?
No, it's very different.
Okay, well, thanks very much. You could have just said, yeah, hysterics. I agree.
I mean, I'm not going that far.
What do you mean?
I think there's... let's get back to the game, all right? We're going into dangerous territory
I
here.
mean, speaking of dangerous territory, Bon Appetito does not die. Lemon Lord drops down the ultimate. It's going to be on the Shen, but Fennekin still the target. A good ultimate by Sejuani, and everyone's just cleaning house here. LCD DK is in the backline, absolutely uncontested. He'll get a triple, no need for the quadra. The very last kill is here in front of them, and it goes over to Sion. The ace and the game going over to New Zealand.
Yeah, the ace series, look, it was a foregone conclusion. Like we said, when you're up this much gold, you're going to win those fights. New Zealand did all of the work in the early game.
They drop the emotes.
And they take the game against Tasmania, pushing themselves into the best of 3 later today.
But you know what? That's a really good statement game for New Zealand. They looked powerful. They looked damn strong.
Tell you what, I have to say, White Palette.
Yeah.
Massive that game.
It wasn't even the person we're talking about. We're talking about Somnus the whole time.
Here I am, wanted to talk up Somnus just because I played against him. I know how good he is, and White Palette just everywhere in that jungle. Could not be stopped. Yep. An absolute thorn in Fennekin's side. And just did so much to get them that lead early. We're talking that they had that lead early, the 3 to 5,000 gold lead before any towers went down, and the majority of that was off the back of Sejuani just punishing, going in and dealing with everyone that was thrown at him.
I mean, the issue was Fennekin didn't get a red buff till about 10 minutes in the game.
Yep.
There was so much denying away. And White Pallet, really the person to watch coming up. Moving into the semi-final out of the winner of Queensland and New South Wales, they have to look at that game and go, New Zealand, no wonder they're representing the country. The best of the best.
It's like we said, they were the favorites going in. They have such incredible talent on their team, and they're showcasing why.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single lane that looked shaky, and when all of your lanes win, your jungler is going to look incredible. So that is not just on White Pallet, but that being said, with the lanes winning, he did the exact right thing almost every time. He was invading everywhere. He was using that priority from his lanes, knew that his teammates had his back, that he could go in and take any camp he wanted.
Spent 0 time in his own jungle as well.
Pretty much, yeah.
About 10%. He's like, I have a blue buff. It doesn't matter. I'll take theirs. But there was a response from Fennekin. There should be props going out to Tasmania because these players, for them to build off that early game and still make an attempt to get these picks, they had the right decision making. It just might have been too late in the game to kind of execute on Order 66.
Yeah, they had picked these scaling champions, and by the time the game had got to that point, they were just too far behind. It was just too far gone because of how proactive New Zealand were being. So it was the right idea. They had the avenues to success. Like I said, they had ways to win the game, but White Pallet just in your jungle the whole game.
That's
every
right.
lane struggling. It's just New Zealand too strong.
It's the story of New Zealand. It's the story of New Zealand moving to the semi-finals. However, coming up next, we have Queensland taking on New South Wales, an old rivalry here in the high school nationals. Don't go anywhere. welcome back to the High School Nationals. My name's Jake Asterix, Aussie Penko. This is Bradley Teagun Seymour. And now we move into the age-old rivalry, or at least the state-to-state rivalry, of Queensland taking on New South Wales.
Age-old indeed. In the NRL, now in League of Origin as well. Even in the high school league, New South Wales will triumph as expected. I'm firmly behind New South Wales, born and raised here.
Yeah, you do need to calm down. Like, Queensland, to be honest, is the sunniest state in all of Australia.
And that's
Have
it.
you been to Queensland?
I have.
It is beautiful
Many
up
times.
there. They do not have rain, and if it's rain, it's nice rain. You know?
No rain is nice rain.
Yes, rain is nice rain. So rain that comes through when it's 26 degrees, not humidity.
I still don't want to be outside in the rain.
And it's cold. That's pristine. Queensland's a nice place.
I still take an umbrella out.
You should go up to Queensland, Bradley.
I go up like every year.
Anyway, we're going to move forward because this is just going to continue, and much like Origin, where people just yell at each other all day, we want to get past that. For the High School Nationals, we've already seen one game between New Zealand and Tasmania, and New Zealand triumphed. Now, the winner of this game will go forward and verse New Zealand in a best of three to decide who goes through to the final on October 20th. This is a big match.
It's also going to be a telling match. New Zealand are going to be sitting there. Yes, they're on the high. They just won, but they will watch this match intently.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking at the teams, trying to find the weak link, trying to find how to draft against them. And we've seen New Zealand. They're strong in every single lane. But they clearly went into that game with a plan. They knew that White Palette could invade every lane. They knew how to sort of dictate the pace, get into the correct places to gain that advantage. So they're going to look at this game between New South Wales and Queensland and go, maybe we can pressure the jungle more. Maybe we'll pick something else in mid lane to pressure that. So for New South Wales and Queensland, well, yes, right now, all they're thinking about is this game. They're not going to be thinking about, 1 month down the road or even an hour down the road. Their goal here is win without giving away your only player style.
See, they're going to be watching this as well and going, right, now how do we dominate our lanes more? Because New Zealand just won every single lane.
Yep.
And, skillfully done as well. Their micro, I love macro and micro, by the way. Their micro was just pinpoint. Now, for New South Wales and Queensland, that already sets a tone that we need to see strong individual players standing up and going beyond in the High School Nationals.
Well, that's what New Zealand did, right?
Here we go.
Here I was talking up Somnus, and then White Palette gets up on this stage and performs exquisitely, and that's what we need to see from these players from New South Wales or from Queensland is, yes, I want to see team play, but also someone on the team needs to step up and be the leader.
We're going to
call the one to just almost win the game for the team.
Tegan, let's call it the White Palette of the team, because that's exactly what it was. We're in Champs League now. Blacktown Boys High School will be taking on St. Peter Cleaver College from Queensland there. And already some unique bands that make you think that this is just a whole different game. Misfortune, Kled already. Darius and Udir with the hot new music in the background. This is going to shape up nicely.
Well, I'll give the Darius band to just being a standard band. It's been an extremely strong pick for a while, but you're right. The rest of the band's completely unique. We haven't seen an Udir band since Rippy used to play, which is about 20 years ago.
Yep.
And it's just all about the individual player. All you're doing is restricting champion pools, getting them to a place where they're not comfortable.
Yep.
They're already going to be a little uncomfortable playing in front of a crowd, having a little bit more stress on them, and making it worse, exacerbating the problem, is going to be the goal in these drafts.
And remember that, look, at this point as well, the nerves aren't going to set in just yet. It's a best of one, and yes, everything's on the line for one game. But when you get to that semi-final position, that's when things are going to become a bit more of a reality.
I disagree. I think the nerves are already there. I can tell you right now, when I was playing, it didn't matter what the game was for. If it was a competitive game, there was a little bit of nerves there.
Okay. I'll pick you up on that. The Katarina was banned away. The Camille as well. Something very, very new, but very, very relevant has just been picked. We're going to go over the Ezreal. Look at the Urgot T-gun, which is a flex.
This is a throwback to LPL. Not even really a throwback,
it's not
just
even
an homage to them.
Picked up in the NALCS this morning.
LPL has been playing this for quite a while now. NALCS cluing in on it, and we see it right here in the high school league. It's starting to trickle down. We see these new sort of trends come out of the Chinese league, the Korean league, where they pioneer these new champions, and now we finally see the Urgot in an Oceanic series. It is incredible in top, and you said it is a flex, but I simply want to see it in top lane.
Okay, especially since we're looking for the individual talent. And when we speak of individual talent, New South Wales have that edge. They've got the higher average solo queue rank, but really, it's not going to mean anything if they can move out of that laning phase and perform as a five-man cohesive unit. Queensland, they picked up the Kha'Zix as well, and bringing us back on track, the Soraka, which again has also risen in priority.
That's going to be a Kuden favorite right there. Soraka picked up for New South Wales, and I tell you what, I'm not a fan of Soraka personally,
All right.
but I think in terms
That's
of
correct.
playing against it,
Yep.
it is incredibly annoying to deal with. That is a champion that if you don't play around it specifically, if you are not aware of it at every moment, it can change a game on its own.
And look, for New South Wales, they have the opportunity to ban away champions in that bottom lane. The Alistar was the first one, but there is no mid lane. LeBlanc banned away, and it looks like the top side of the map was the priority for QLD.
It makes a lot of sense that that's where their priority is, especially considering they've got the Urgot. You want to ban out what you think is the strongest opponents against it, take it as early as you can, and suddenly, what do you pick into Urgot here? I don't think there is a single champion left that is going to win that lane.
Well, look, this morning we saw Hootie pick up Cassiopeia on the top side of the map, so anything's possible. But Yasuo, at the very least, is going to be taken.
Cassiopeia would work into it, but you need to find a top laner comfortable on Cassiopeia. And
Which is very
I
rare.
can count on one hand the amount of people I would expect to do that. Hootie
Yep.
is one of them, by the way.
Okay.
That is a person who has played every champion in almost every role. So it makes sense that he's the one to be able to be as flexible as possible into it. But against New South Wales for Queensland, you got to feel safe with that pick.
Yep.
Everything else just makes a lot of sense. Like I said, the Soraka is a bit unique, but it is an extremely
Whoa.
strong champion when you don't know how to deal with it. And Jinx!
I know Odyssey
Locked
just
in.
came out and there's a new skin, but that's ambitious if I've ever seen a pick locked in. Your hot chocolate suddenly got a little bit spicy.
Spicy hot chocolate. I'm not sure anyone would be a fan of that.
It's like a chai hot chocolate.
But Jinx locked in. Now, against the Ezreal, you have Jinx. No matter what support you pick here, you can generally be aggressive.
Yep.
You won't win the extended trades, Akali and Maokai, the final two picks there for New South Wales, but you will win the quick bursts, and if you can get onto the tower, you can keep them under the tower.
Yeah.
The Soraka has to be really proactive and really aggressive. That's not something Sorakas are generally used to. Most of them just play passively, make sure you're helping your team. The ambulance, the Soraka ganks that people have seen and are so irritating, where you
hate
don't
them.
even gank the opponent. You just go up there and fling a couple heals, and suddenly your mid lane is back to full health, and the enemy mid lane is still a little pissed off.
And think about it as well. For Akali, she can play with time, and it's a pick that we've kind of just gone over. Because Akali being top priority through multiple patches now, we were looking more for those individual picks, the comfortability, but still looks like Akali being prioritized as the second last pick with Maokai following through is just that point of interest.
But the reason we just sort of gloss over it is because it is such stock standard and strength. You don't really see it and be like, wow, this is so unique, this is unusual.
But it's
because
still it's a high priority pick.
It is, you're absolutely right.
But we're not really looking at, that A grade. We're looking at players who are trying to grow, who are trying to prove themselves on the stage here today. And I think Akali is definitely on the A tier list, S tier list of proving yourself in League of Legends.
Oh, without a doubt. The problem is, generally when you're trying to make a name for yourself in solo queue, you play something unique. You find a champion that you enjoy and you say, this is my champion. I will play this until the cows come home. I will be the best in this region at this champion. There are a few people in solo queue that do that. And Akali, that isn't one of the champions that you pick up and say, I'm going to be the greatest at this champion, at least anymore. Previously it was.
I feel
now
like
not so
it's
much.
opposite. I feel like you pick up Akali now, and because there's so much outplayability, now you're like, I'm going to pick up this champion and just play by play. Are you saying because it just gets banned permanently?
Yeah. You can't one-trick a champion that isn't pickable. It's as simple as that. It is banned in, I want to say, upwards of around 75% of games, if not more. So it's not something that you one-trick, but it is still an extremely strong champion. It's something you can pick and be like, I'm going to take over this game. I am going to outplay my opponent. I'm going to be extremely strong, and that's something we can expect from the New South Wales roster. Conversely, on Queensland, you have Urgot, which has the same potential to take over the game.
It does.
If that scales through lane, and it wins almost every lane, it can be almost impossible to deal with.
But really, in the top side of the map, we haven't seen much action so far, and we're basing it, yes, off of one game. But I think the Urgot top pick could really define Queensland. Like, they may not have the highest ranking average in terms of solo queue stats, but it's not going to matter if you have a great laning phase on the god.
And that's where it matters. You are leaning into Maokai, one of the best champions to pick up if you're expecting ganks.
Yep.
It is the most basic, easy CC to land. Jump in, point and click, and suddenly the opponent's locked down for roughly 2 seconds. Xin Zhao brings the damage, brings the heat from the jungle. If you get in on the Urgot, he's going to die.
Yeah.
It's just about paying that respect. Get your wards out early, play safely, and suddenly he can scale. But New South Wales, they countered it perfectly. Now, yes, I'm biased. I want New South Wales to win. I'm born and raised here.
What do you mean?
This is my team.
Tigger, we're going to a best of one, all right? For context, just so I'm an actual caster now, both teams have an equal chance, and I'm rooting for both teams at the same time. I love Queensland's weather, but I was born in New South Wales.
It's completely on the
I
fence.
prefer weather, but, you know.
Completely on the fence.
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah. I'm always on the fence, Tigger. I don't
That's not a good thing.
There's nothing wrong with a fence.
Take a stance.
White picket fence, man.
You're right. Both teams can win this game. It doesn't mean I can't pick my personal
It does. That's what being a commentator's all about. You got to be neutral, Tigger.
You don't have to be.
You need to go back to high school. Ladies and gentlemen, after this, we're going to do
I'm older than you.
I don't care. Back to high school you go. New South Wales and Queensland are going to jump onto the Rift in a second. They're going to show Tegan a few things about league so that maybe he one day can, go back and try and get into the OCS himself. I'm sorry.
I've been in the OCS.
I don't care. I don't care anymore. We're about to jump in, ladies and gentlemen. Queensland have this opportunity, though. You've got Ergot on the top side of the map. I'm going to bring you back. We've got Echo for the second game in a row. Now, there's something about this Echo pick that is enticing these mid laners of the high school.
It's a high school champion. This is a champion where you have so much outplayability.
Oh, high skill.
Yes, not high school champion. You need to. Oh my gosh, get your hearing checked. This is a champion where you can outplay your opponents. We saw it in the first game where Face Attack, he was going into this extremely skilled player in Somnus, and he was showing that he didn't care. He would go in, he would take the fights, he would try and outskill him, and it worked for the laning phase.
Yeah.
Now, it makes a lot of sense that when you're coming in, these are young players. Right? A lot of them are going to be brash. They're going to have that confidence in them to say to themselves, I can do this. I can outplay you. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
So when you want to do that on champions like Akali, like Echo, it makes a lot of sense that we see them.
Yeah, also, with the Null Sphere, with the W, yeah, I know that was very bad. With the W from Echo, right, the name eludes me. Phase Dive, you got Chrono Break, you got...
Don't ask me about champion abilities.
Anyway. With W... The circumference is actually the same size as the smoke screen from Akali, I feel.
All right.
I want to check that when we get into game because I feel like that's perfectly matched. So all you have to do is throw a W on top of Akali's smoke screen, hop on in, and you got yourself a stun.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say you got yourself a stun. You can restrict the Akali's mobility. You can make sure she has to get out of the smoke screen, but then you're blowing your stun. You make sure the Akali has complete control of if it lands or not.
Okay.
So you're right. Yes, there's a unique sort of matchup there and how it works, but I would still say the Akali is the one that can be proactive about it.
Yeah.
You can jump out of it, then jump back in after the stun. You have all of that mobility, that counterplay potential. So yeah, I agree. There's thoughts there. It's much like the Poppy counterpick that we saw back in the OCS, where you pick Poppy into Akali because you can move the Akali around, restrict her usage of the smoke screen.
Throw a random hammer, you probably got 50%
but
chance.
at the same time, it still leaves the onus on Akali to make the mistake there for it to work.
And really individual play. Again, coming back to the point that we raised at the very start of release, I did. Individual play is going to dictate this mid lane once again. You don't pick a champion like Echo to snooze and lose.
Well, you can pick it to roam. But again, that is still individual play. It's just not the one we're expecting where we want to see them brawl. We want to see them bring back the biff. It's New South Wales versus Queensland. Bring back the biff.
Yeah.
But it can still be more of a team play style. You can see the Echo go top, go bot, try and influence the side lanes. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go top. You do want to help out that Ergot, make sure that he isn't being bullied by the Maokai, the Xin Zhao.
Yep.
It's just yet to be seen. Like I said, I want to see the team play from the teams. I want to see them help each other out as opposed to just solo play.
Well, at the moment, helping each other out looks like Queensland. They start off with a big group hug.
I love that we're seeing more emotes, by the way.
Everyone's like, you can spam emotes. All right, let's jump in. New South Wales taking on Queensland, best of one. The winner goes in to verse New Zealand in a best of 3. And that team who wins that for the day will go straight into the finals. This is what you want. This is what you want to prove yourself as a high school team.
Now, if I'm looking at Queensland and how they win this game... Oh,
you're looking at Queensland now, yep. Sorry.
And I've been looking at them. I said I want New South Wales to win. Yes, I'm slightly biased. I'm born and raised here.
You just went straight out and said it to you. It's not slightly. That's like you took the fence and threw it half a kilometre.
I'm glad you think I'm that strong. But if I'm looking at Queensland and how they win the game, because I do try and look at the game objectively, for me it's through something like this Jinx pick or the Kha'Zix. These two scaling champions that can dish out so much damage so quickly. Jinx is a champion that once she gets excited, and I know you love seeing that in team fights, she can dominate the opponent.
Yep.
She can dish out so much damage. And the Kha'Zix as well, he's going to look to be active early. So for me, Professor Zac, he's got the least bot side. Think about level 2ing bot. Think about getting active there early, somewhat like Chamomile is doing in Queensland's jungle.
And really, what is it about blue side junglers so far? They're just so heavy on the invade. Professor Zac will find Chamomile, but he doesn't get the spikes. He has the isolation damage, but Chamomile's one of the best duelists in the game. Xin Zhao gonna go take away from Vision, but here comes Akali. Flash away, the smite to heal, but he's dying, and Chamomile with an early first blood.
The quick roam there from Akali ensures that Xin Zhao wins that. The red buff was already helping, but proactivity is the name of the game. Wow, so pro, definitely showcasing his expertise there, getting there, locking down first blood.
And because of that, they just go bot. Your hot chocolate is about to go cold. Chamomile locks one down and says, tea is better. Deathblade will flash away, but he's dead too. And everything's going right for New South Wales.
I can't take you seriously.
They've just got such animated names. Penguin Lord picks up a kill there, and Stone Block Killer helps push that forward. T-Gun, what an exciting start for New South Wales.
Well done by New South Wales to get that working.
Oh,
Chamomile
no.
already active mid, then gets in bot quickly. This is dirty. This is down and dirty play. He is going to wait here for them to come back.
Oh, he's not. Okay.
Is he impatient?
No, he's doing it.
Is he patient enough to wait?
So he's level 3. Your hot chocolate's 2. He walks away. The dirty play.
I was hoping it happened. That would be what could just end the game mentally for a team. If he dives there and kills the Jinx again,
Parallel
you're
convergence.
just done.
Yep, sorry. I was just remembering the W of Echo. Parallel convergence. Sorry, I just had a moment. Hey, T-Gun.
Yeah,
Everything's just going up Millhouse right now.
going up New South Wales, yeah.
Chamomile has 2 kills.
Tell me about it.
And, no, I'll get you to it in a second. And there's a tier all the way on Penguin Lord. Now, meanwhile, on the top side, Maokai getting pushed out, but parallel convergence, maybe it doesn't hit the smoke screen. Maybe I was wrong. Okay, I think I was wrong, actually.
Well, it doesn't hit the whole thing, but it has a good range that it covers.
I feel like it hits the middle, actually. I don't think it hits the outer ring of
I think it depends
screen.
on how early you throw it in.
Maybe.
It's all about getting there quickly enough. Back to the game, though. Let's
Sorry,
talk about Queensland, how Queensland can come back into this, because right now, Chamomile has complete control.
Yep.
Much like White Pelt in the first game, he is taking control of the game, getting active everywhere he can. And for me, when I look at Queensland, now we look at Urgot. That lane dominance up top, we've seen him push in, but Chamomile is already up here
Urgot
to impact
has
that
no
lane.
mana. Master Knight flashes nice and early, but he's still coming up. Still level 3, hasn't backed, but the damage is going to be huge. 1, 2, skip a few. They knock him up, and they're already to 100. Expelliarmus locks him down, but unfortunately, the spell now comes through from Zac. Chamomile goes down, that shutdown. This is the return for Queensland. Early kills, and Creeper wants to secure it, and they will. Professor Zac gifts it over. Very well played.
Look at Professor Zac. The BM there starts spamming. I believe that was his laugh.
Oh.
Down on the bot side,
Meanwhile,
though,
flash
Penguin
forward
Lord.
from Soraka. Their last hit is not going to find its mark, and Penguin Lord gets another one.
Activity everywhere on the map. I was saying I wanted them to bring back the Biff, and they've done me proud. Up in the top side.
Schoolyard bullying right there.
Queensland, not that far. Queensland bringing it back for their team. They were collapsing. Professor Zac and Creeper 18 there helping out Master Knight.
Yep.
He had stepped just a little too far forward, trying to bully around the Maokai. Xin Zhao gets up there. I was saying it before. Chamomile's being active everywhere. Even right now on the Raptors. Might be a little too far forward though.
Chamomile getting locked down by that parallel convergence. The face dive, 3 hit on the Z-Drive Resonance. Chamomile goes back in, smites the minion, heals back up, and Creeper does not have level 6, so he's dropping as well. Chamomile, 2 more kills.
What am I saying too far forward? He's exactly where he should be. Wow, So Pro gets in there to back him up, and 4 kills on Xin Zhao before the 10-minute mark is insane.
He has Moby boots. I mean, this is just anarchy.
It's junglers again. White Pallet set up the early game for New Zealand. And now you have Chamomile setting up the early game for New South Wales. Queensland, they're reacting. They're getting there. They're trying to fight for these camps. Fight for anything they can. But right now, it isn't enough. The Urgot, he still has a little bit of control in that top lane. That's where Queensland need to fall back on. They can't let New South Wales get into their head because that right now is what it seems like is happening.
But the difference between this game and the last, and although
It's
Queensland
happening
has
again.
3K behind, I'm going to mind my point because Zach is just going to get jumped on once more. He leaps out of the way, but Chamomile just going to take over the blue buff. And wow, so Pro just goes back in. Professor Zach knows that the Akali's level 6.
Jeez.
One elimination. The second not going to come through. Creeper, better watch where you step.
Here comes Braun, but I don't think he can help this. You have to concede the jungle. Get out of here. Akali and Xin Zhao are too strong. Kha'Zix disappeared.
Yep.
He got one hit. Gone. Out of his own jungle.
It's just insanity. This Xin Zhao has 5 kills. It's like going to your supermarket and you look for the cheap chamomile, the home brand. But you know what you want, T-Gun? You want the gourmet stuff, the organic. And that's what we're seeing right here. We're seeing organic chamomile at its finest.
I have to admit, I didn't even know there was a difference.
There
I
is
don't
actually.
drink tea.
You need to drink some more tea, sir. Green tea, my favorite.
Maybe
actually.
after this game for sure.
We'll go for a tea session.
Maybe me and you know.
Well, okay. We'll go with other people so we don't.
That's how it works for
we don't
me.
want to fight each other. Fair enough. At this point, you were starting to say Queensland had a good response on the top side of the map, but it all came crushing down once again as the jungle has taken even more control. The bottom side's getting pushed in. Mid is 30 CS behind. Top side is 20 CS behind. And New South Wales, those lanes, just proved today to be everything.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
It's been so strong again.
No,
Xin Zhao in.
Leave him alone. The leap's there.
He's
Chamomile
already dead.
doesn't have flash. He gets the red buff. Professor Zach loses another camp.
It's so...
Malakai's even there.
This is just incredible pressure being put out from New South Wales. And finally the response.
He got the scuttle. He even picks up the next one. Sorry, the Raptor. Here's Nature's Grasp from Malakai. And it continues.
3 people there from Queensland try and collapse, help out Professor Zach, but it isn't enough. Expelliarmus rotates down, throws out the Maokai ultimate, and that's enough. That gets rid of all of them, and now back in bot lane. I thought Jinx would be pushing in. It is Ezreal getting first turret of the game for New South Wales.
Yep, everywhere is fantastic for New South Wales. The sunny weather not going to help out Queensland this time. 6k gold behind. First turret blood just went down as you saw. And now, Ezreal has a tier, has a sheen. Penguin Lord sitting on probably a lot of stacks by now. And there's a pickaxe.
Yeah, this Ezreal is so much further ahead than he should be in this game. You look at Ezreal and you think to yourself, they're always playing the scaling game. The gold lead is there. Almost 2,000 gold at this point is massive. But more to the point is how fast he will reach those item breakpoints. It's all about finishing that tier. If you want to go double tier, getting that first one complete is so important in terms of pushing towards mid-late game. And he's already going to be there. Like you said, that tier, probably around 300 stacks already.
Yep. Well, meanwhile, while the bot side's going well, they're coming top. Meanwhile, Master Knight is about to be hit by 3 people. There's going to be no ulti as well, so Pro and Chamomile get another deletion. Even a flash that comes out.
3 people up here, blow up the Urgot. The answer from Queensland is quick. Get onto the Dragon. At least trade something. Proactivity from them, even in the face of adversity. They're finding something to get back. That is incredible just composure from the Queensland team. Hard decision to make. Teleport here in very real threat of dying.
Chamomile could actually die, though, himself. But the Maokai, the execution's about to be here, T-Gun. One hit, there's Soraka Hill, but well saved by the Urgot. He gets it eventually, but Master Knight doesn't have the ult available, so now he's waiting.
Master Knight does get the kill there, but once again, more people from New South Wales collapsing up here. Kha'Zix looking for a gank, but Ezreal's already there.
So, will the collapse come through? The slow onto Chamomile, the shotgun knee is not there. The ulti burned out. Master Knight just wants the kill. Execution will come through. Gobbles him up, but he dies before he can get Chamomile. The fight continues as Professor Zach and Creeper try to clean it up. The Chrono Break will get the shutdown onto Chamomile, and now they just want to escape.
The sustain there from Soraka, keeping Chamomile alive, and now Penguin Lord chasing down Kha'Zix.
Creeper's
dashes
still here.
forward.
Parallel convergence. He flashes. He gets the kill. Can he get the next one? Creeper doesn't have the ulti available, and Penguin Lord just walks forward, takes a turret shot, and that'll persuade him further.
Another kill goes down for New South Wales. Again, Queensland finding answers. Get that bot tower. Jinx chunks through them so fast. But New South Wales, such proactivity. Answer with mid, with top tower, and the gold lead now ballooning out so quickly. Already at 6,000 gold, soon to be 7.
Really, at the moment, as soon as the play goes wrong, New South Wales always able to recover, or they're always able to continue in parts where you think, maybe you should stop by now. That never happens.
That's what you expect from these young kids, though. You expect the brash confidence.
Like this, the ambitious plays. One more hit on that Z-Drive Resonance, but Penguin Lord just takes a rocket to the face and says, hello.
A rocket from downtown, not enough to finish the job. And like I was saying, it's about the confidence. The brash confidence from young players who always think there isn't a single time where they think, I can't outplay them.
Master Knight just walks into a brush. Camomile's there. He's not going to get the kill, but at least persuades him a little bit more.
Dissuaded, maybe, but I don't think it'll stay that way for Zinzao.
Yeah.
He will be going in any chance he gets.
Chamomile in a bad position once again. Professor Zach walks up and just walked into danger. This is very good for Queensland, but Akali's already got the damage. The Kha'Zix going to get locked down. They're already out of the fight. The ultimate true shot barrage, but Pro is still alive. He's doing everything in that backside. There is no execution available from Master Knight. Too far away, but the Maokai, it just got himself a double kill. And the Angry Tree may drop, but now the fight continues. No one going forward. Wow, so Pro edging ever so slightly.
Queensland, they're sort of winning these real scrappy fights, keeping themselves in there, but New South Wales slowly trickling in one by one, keep it going, and even though Queensland pretty much won that fight, New South Wales maintained priority in mid lane. Ezreal and Soraka here, such a difficult duo to dislodge. Ardent Sensor already finished, Manamune on the Ezreal. The scaling is there.
Yeah.
You do not expect this setup to be this strong until about 20 minutes. They're a good 6-7 minutes ahead of where they should be, and Braum once again, so tanky, but still in trouble even when he fights just for shallow vision in his jungle.
There's really no control whatsoever in this top side map. You can see Professor Zach walking towards his red, but as soon as something is let go, New South Wales seem to be in the position to take it back away again. Now, in that top side, speaking of that, Chamomile, you thought the red buff was over to Professor Zach, but Chamomile started it up.
Yeah, again, he knows how strong he is.
Yep.
There is 3, maybe 4 people collapsing here, and he's not phased. Maokai is already there. Rift Herald now dropped in mid lane is something that New South Wales will want to collect on. And why does Ezreal have it? Good question.
Why not?
But the better question is, how do Queensland stop this? Because I don't think they can.
Chamomile just going in face first once again. He's 7-3 right now. Penguin Lord will throw up the true shot barrage and no door to block it away. And New South Wales ready to get another turret.
Rift Herald gets a full health charge. Down goes this turret so quickly.
They want to fight.
How do you stop this Rift Herald push for Queensland? You can't.
Someone needs to go in. At the moment, Rift Herald going to get chunked down. 1,000 left, but remember the bare minimum doesn't matter anymore. Will be, no, almost blocked away. I don't know what happened there, but it happened. So Rift Herald does go down, but gets charged from the turret.
Once Rift Herald starts to charge, the charge will finish unless Rift Herald dies.
Can't you put a wall in front of it or something?
I don't think so.
Sure?
No.
I feel like Talia's Weaver's wall.
Maybe, but even then, Rift Herald generally goes wherever she pleases.
You got to play other positions apart from support, Tegan, you know? No one else is...
I mean, you can play Talia support. I'll do that tonight for you.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think we play games together, though.
Well, no, I didn't say I'd play it with you. I said I'd do it for you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough. Well, life's hard when you have someone who, you know, won't play with you, but all these players, they've played together in the state finals. They've gotten to this point for a reason. And for Queensland, hope is not lost. 15 minutes in, it's an 8k gold lead. It's massive for New South Wales. They have control. But Jinx has got a kill, got Storm Race. One big mistake here from New South Wales, and it'll cost them big. This turret seems to be the objective. They're going to push harder.
Queensland, they have to be patient in the face of adversity here. Like you said, one mistake is all it will take for Jinx to get excited and start dishing out an incredible amount of damage. It's just Storm Races, but that is all you need to be able to get through people like Xin Zhao, who have not built any tank. Look at his itemization. He is all about the damage right now. Why shouldn't he, by the way?
Yep.
Why shouldn't he be? Because he's finding kills everywhere. But that means when you go in, especially against someone like Jinx, if Braum is there, Xin Zhao will die.
Mountain Drake's going to be taken away. At the moment, you notice with Deathblade as well, hasn't been able to block those True Shot barrage.
Well, he has so much to dodge, to block,
He
excuse
has
me.
a lot to block, yeah.
With that door, you can't just save it for True Shot barrage. You're trying to avoid any damage you can for your team. Especially at this point where Braum really isn't that tanky. He really cannot sustain the damage being put out from New South Wales, so he's just blocking whatever he can, and so far, it hasn't been True Shot, you are correct, but you can't save it. There's too much. Akali's throwing things out, Soraka constantly throwing things out. You also have to try and soak some of the Maokai ultimate. That is a big ask for one person to do.
Trying to soak damage as well. Speaking of damage, something a little bit unrelated, Camomile's just picked up the Trinity Force. So that's in.
I think that's completely related.
Okay, alright, well. I think at the moment, the confidence out of this jungler. Now, if this happens to be New South Wales versus New Zealand, which at the moment, it might be looking like it, then we're going to be looking at a jungle v jungle matchup in a best of 3, and things will get very interesting.
When two aggressive junglers clash, sparks will fly. Only one will remain.
Oh, yeah.
That will be a fun matchup to watch if it is indeed what happens, but Queensland are not out. Baron spawning soon is always a way to get back into a game. Could potentially try and steal it away or sneak it away if given the opportunity, and Kha'Zix is one of the best stealers in the game. Q Smite presents such an opportunity to blow up the Baron. Xin Zhao really doesn't have that secure ability to steal with, to contest with, so New South Wales, they can't afford to take that risk, but if they do, Queensland, they need to be in position to capitalize.
And at the moment, if some of them get picked off before this Baron's going to be free over to New South Wales, the pushing will continue and that base will be broken. So big decisions have to be made by Queensland, but a side note on this point, Tegan, Master Knight has pressed the attack on Urgot. Now, Urgot at the moment... Hang on. Zach, don't walk forward. Chamomile is not alone. He knocks up Zach, and he will ulti out. He has to flash through. Doesn't want to go towards the Urgot, but maybe this is where they want to be initially. Master Knight is going to be ulted by the Nature's Grasp Spirit. Swings by, he flashes out. And New South Wales, they pull the trigger.
We see it right there. The Soraka ultimate saves Chamomile. He survives barely before the Soraka ultimate comes in, and Queensland trying to be proactive, trying to find someone, get a kill. But it just isn't enough. You said, oh no, but he was never dead there. Soraka has health to give.
Yeah, right. Still a little bit scared. Can we come back while they're pushing in on the turret? Press the attack on Urgot. Unsealed Spellbook is the go. At the moment, it has been the only thing to take. So, interesting adaptations. I know it's a little bit late. I wanted to pull it out. I was very curious. I just saw it.
Well, again, that's probably comfort for Master Knight.
Probably not relevant.
Unsealed Spellbook, it helps you be more versatile. Scale into the late game. Press the attack's going to help you earlier in the trades, help you maintain a bit more lane control. Perhaps put out more damage mid-late game. But you lose that versatility. The teleport, the extra smite, the ignite, what have you. You no longer have that ability, the bonus from Unsealed Spellbook. So, yes, trade-offs. Yes, I would still prefer Unsealed Spellbook, but I can understand why he's taking Press the Attack. Like I said before, brash, young, confident players want to prove themselves.
Still going to be good for Jinx, though. Put it that way. I mean, Press the Attack enable Jinx to do extra damage, so, I mean, not the worst pickup. And now I bring it back to normal. 11k gold lead, New South Wales. Baron is up and available. Off that pick, they decided to take top inner, mid inner, and now it's only Inhibitor Turrets left standing. So QLD, again, have to be even more careful where they stand.
Well, like I said before, if New South Wales start up that Baron, Kha'Zix now has a way to pull Queensland back into the game. Yes, it is a massive gold lead, 11,000 gold, like you just said. But if they get that steal, secure the Baron, suddenly you buy yourselves time in this game. And I've said it before, the most important resource in League of Legends, it's not move speed, it's not attack range, nothing that Bryce and Spawn talk about. It is time.
You can't buy move speed.
Apparently not.
QLD. I got plenty of it. Professor Zach from the shadows. He may be 3k gold down at the moment, but he can make something happen. He will this time, however, have to leap all the way around as Chamomile just keeps taking his jungle away, and QLD try to poke their head in.
This is the most problematic part of being pushed in that Queensland are facing right now, is Yes, you still get the lane minions, you still get each lane, you get all that farm, but you lose your jungle. You are losing so much gold each minute just because you can't walk away.
Yep.
Chamomile won't step foot in his own jungle for a good few minutes. The only reason they would go back there is to take buffs, and even then, Chamomile, he's probably not getting them. Red buff would definitely be going to Ezreal right now. Blue buff could go to anyone, maybe even Ezreal as well.
Let's give it to Akali.
You just stay in your opponent's jungle, strangle them out. Make sure they die a slow death at this point, because anytime you take risks, you give them the opportunity to come back into the game. That's what they're looking for. Like I said, a Baron steal would be huge, potentially a picker on this mid tower.
So painful.
Try and make them overextend.
Yeah. Reapers wants to make something happen. That parallel convergence goes back out, but the issue is there's so much sustain. Expelliarmus is about to 1v1 the Jinx. The Maokai drops on top of him, plants something, and then walks out.
He throws up the Jinx emote as well. That's beautiful.
For you, Tegan, maybe not for him. Professor Zach favors the 1v1. Chamomile has to ult, but Zach, one more hit. Sin not going to heal back up. That's a good pick, but what's happening mid?
They find a pick, but it is not enough. Mid tower gone. Inhibitor open now, trying to chase down the Ezreal. That is not a person you can ever chase down. Parallel convergence gone. Out of here, Echo goes back to his base, and
oh
Akali.
my lord, the execution. He sees Creepers, does not have the ultimate. Parallel convergence to snipe there. Good timing there from Creeper, but that doesn't stop the inhibitor.
All of these true shot barrages have been on point, and now Jinx coming in.
Wants revenge. Deathblade knocks them all up. The inhibitor goes down, but blinking health bars there from QLD. The fight continues, and New South Wales, they get the inhibitor and they want to back out. No one has died, but QLD managed to defend the rest of their base.
New South Wales being so aggressive, but also not too aggressive. Each time someone went forward there, like you said, no one dies because they all stayed well within the reach of their team. Akali tried to go in, get the kill on Echo, but didn't overextend. Left the end of the work to Ezreal with his true shot barrages, which have been on point this game, by the way.
That is true.
Pretty much hasn't missed a single one. Great Zhonya's there by Creeper 18 to dodge out from the damage. And New South Wales, a lot of teams in this position would be overextended, would be trying to take a contested Baron, really trying to dive the opponents. Instead, we see real controlled play. We see them be patient, set up in that 1-3-1, slowly take down towers, find weaknesses in Queensland's defense, and really composed play from the team.
At the moment, it's about that experience factor as well. Now, we don't know where these guys have come from, but it's the experience of playing League of Legends over the years, playing in this team as well. And at the moment, it looks like New South Wales have just got that upper hand, that edge, that capacity to understand one step forward. QLD finding their feet, but just not as much as New South Wales. And again, it is a testament. We're looking for our champions. We're looking for our best high school team. And New South Wales are gunning it for the top.
Now they're in complete control here, like I said before. 11,000 at one point, now almost 12,000. And finally, the Baron has started up. Can Professor Zach get there?
Having said that, though, the sweep comes out a little bit late. They haven't hit the wards. A steal is possible, T-Gun. 4,000, 3,000. They haven't done anything on the backside. Baron will be paused. Kha'Zix jumps in. The steal does come through. QLD find it. Now they have to get the fight. They've already picked up one, but Pro on the backside. Chocolate picks up one too. And Queensland actually turning this around. Look at Chocolate in the back. Chamomile almost dies. He is going to drop as well. Chocolate survives. And QLD actually sweeping this away. Master Knight trying to delay. He might just have to die here. Maokai finds the root, and a fight goes 4 for 3, but Baron secured by QLD.
New South Wales win the fight, but Professor Zach does it. He gets the steal, the miracle play. Your Hot Chocolate now needs to defend until someone is alive. 2 seconds on Kha'Zix, 10 on Braum, 10 on Echo. The game will not end here, and Queensland buy themselves a lifeline.
Well, hang on, T-Gun, because Expelliarmus is so tanky. They take out one, but Baron buff jumps on the next wave of minions. So a Nexus turret, that is the cost. New South Wales still those elements of control, but the possibility and the mistake there from New South Wales has now enabled QLD to hold this game out.
The steal, the kills going over on Jinx, everything is setting up for the upset here at this point from Queensland. The comeback is real. Runan's finished for Jinx. You have the Executioners to deal with the Soraka heals coming out. And suddenly, the potential is there. Jinx is dishing out the damage, able to kill priority targets. Xin Zhao can no longer dive on that backline, as he has been doing all game. Maokai, yes, still incredibly tanky, but will be whittled down over time. Queensland have bought themselves some time here. Like I said, that is the most expensive thing they can afford right now. It's just a little bit of time. Push the game forward a little bit more where 10,000 isn't as oppressive. Yes, it's still going to be a massive lead to overcome. New South Wales in complete control. But the more farm that goes onto your hot chocolate, the longer he can stay in this game. Potentially get a third item, which still seems like it's so far away. And they have the chance to come back.
The Baron will help them defend. So you speak of that asset known as time. Hot Chocolate has made sure that that time will help them delay things as much as possible. He's got good wave clear as well. No Baron buff on New South Wales means they probably can't push into this base.
Well, I would say it stalls it out.
All right.
Until Baron is finished, you're right, and it's unlikely a tower goes down. But they still need to look for more.
Yeah.
They need to take this time, try and find someone. Perhaps this Maokai here, Expelliarmus really far forward.
He's trying to flank, but no one does any damage to him. They jump on the Jinx, and the deletion going to come through at this rate. Locked on down, Akali finds one, and this has just gone from bad to worse. New South Wales are getting absolutely everything from this fight. Stone Block survives on the end, and Queensland, it went so well before, but now New South Wales clamp on down and look to join New Zealand in the semi-finals.
Anytime Soraka's health is like that, she's had a perfect fight. Stone Block able to help every single teammate. Finally, the last member of Queensland falls. New South Wales secure the game, and they may not have got the Baron, but they get the win.
And some clean play throughout the game. One mistake does not dictate it. New South Wales, they move forward. They face New Zealand in the semi-finals.
Big win here for New South Wales, but it's not over. They win that game through jungle pressure.
Yeah.
That was what really set the game on fire, was Chamomile invading and finding all of these ways to just build a huge advantage in the jungle. That is how New Zealand won. So New South Wales, they need to take this game, take the short time they have to reflect on it, work out how to adapt that against New Zealand, and just look forward.
There were convincing plays though from Queensland at certain points in the game.
The Baron still.
The Baron still. New South Wales not expecting, no vision in the back of the pit as well, and Queensland are like, yoink, I'll take that.
Yeah, Queensland look at that and they say, finally, we're presented an opportunity. Up until then, New South Wales played so just decisively. They weren't going to overextend. They weren't going to take risks. And then they finally take one little risk. They think to themselves, we can afford this. We can take this
They
Baron.
stopped the Baron at 2K, but two people jumped in.
Yeah, 2K is not enough health for Baron to survive Kha'Zix and Echo.
Yeah.
For sure. They're both going to go in, try and secure. And once they secure the Baron, all I'm thinking is get out. Take the Baron and leave. But Queensland say they want more. They took the fight as well. Really took the fight to them at 10,000 gold down. And Jinx is still taking people down. Takes down the Zin on the back end of it as well. And Queensland, they never gave up. But the lead was just too big for New South Wales.
Same story in game number one. The story in game one was of Tasmania making proactive plays, but it was too little too late. Queensland, same story. Too little too late. Yes, they may get the Baron, but the fight afterwards did not go their way.
Expelliarmus he was unkillable.
Yeah.
He happily walked into all five members.
He dispelled the enemy team.
I am not getting into that. He simply walked forward, tanked everybody, waited for his team to converge as well.
Excuse me.
And just way too strong.
I think I've got a frog in my throat anyway. I was going to try and make another Harry Potter reference, but I'm not going to embarrass myself. Coming up next, however, we have our semi-finals. New Zealand now being joined by New South Wales in 5 minutes. We'll see you there. Oh, welcome back to the High School Nationals here, where we have New Zealand taking on the rest of... No, it's just New South Wales. My name's Jake Asterix, Aussie Pecco. This is Bradley Teagun Seymour. We're into the best of 3 now, so things are heating up in what has been 2 spicy matchups already.
And here is where it gets interesting for these teams. Like you said, best of 3. Best of 1's coming in. You can get away with that. Some of these players probably significantly better on one champion than the rest if one team figures it out before the other.
Yep.
Suddenly, drafting becomes a huge problem. Something you have to solve. We see in the OPL and the OCS where the coaches, the people dictating the draft, make such an impact on the game. And a lot of the best coaches just say, as long as we get them in there 50-50, they've done their job.
They do.
Right here, if you have a coach or if you have someone leading the draft, honestly, you want to look for a 60-40.
I don't think we're going to have that same conviction, though. When we see the OPL and OCS teams, you know, the coach has a very big impact.
They have a week to prepare the draft.
Yeah, no, but here now as well, you're going into best of 3, and this format, I'm not sure how New South Wales and New Zealand are going to adapt. And giving them the benefit of the doubt, as of course we will, Rangitoto College, I hope I said that right, and Blacktown Boys High School, they jump into the best of 3 now, and it is going to be about defining game 1, because so far, we have had aggressive junglers, and oh my lord, they have really made the game.
Well, before I even talk about the junglers, which I want to do, let's talk about the quick sub that New South Wales have made. Fried Rice 21 coming into the top lane for Expelliarmus, and now Expelliarmus going into the mid lane for Wow
I love
So Pro.
the names.
I already said my piece on the names. I think they're all brilliant.
Yep.
But making a sub this quickly when you had such a great performance, not sure I'm on board with that.
I think it's interesting. Well, again, benefit of the doubt to Fried Rice 21. The bans come through, though, and as we go into game 1, this time it's Zinzao as the first ban here by NZ. They're going to be starting on the blue side if you haven't already guessed that one out. Akali, Soraka with Nidalee, Nocturne, Cassid in the response. First pick again for DK. It's the man, the myth, the legend. Actually, Kaiser is a woman. It's Kaiser.
It all makes sense. Not your joke, but the chance picks and banned. Kaiser first pick. Of course, we saw DK massive on her in their first game. And Zinzao is a ban. Why are you giving that over to Chamomile ever?
I just realized, thank you to our producer, it is actually Bon Appetito first fried rice. Oh, okay.
We got jokers in here today.
It's just so good.
I tell you what, I had to be up at 8 a.m. to get in here on time for these games.
Oh, stop complaining.
Now,
I
I'm
only got
not
up at
complaining about the
6:30.
games. I think the games are great, but I think the early call time has done something to the people tonight.
This is not
today,
the time or
excuse
the
me.
place, Tegan. I just
You're
told-
right, it isn't the time.
I just told you
it's too
Bon
early.
Appetit and fried rice, and you give me a call time. Like,
It's too early.
no one understands that. And now you're falling off the wagon. Skarner's going to be the response. Talk about that.
All right, Skarner's a great pick, especially when you look at someone like Kaiser. You want to delete her from the Rift. You don't want to let her have that impact that we saw in the first game. Get rid of her. Don't even let her get active. And Skarner is great for that. Chamomile, aggressive. We saw in the second game, New South Wales versus Queensland,
Yep.
how much he impacted the jungle. And going up against White Pallet, you know you have to be a big impact. Once you hit level 6 on Skarner, just find any lane, mid, top, 80, it doesn't matter. Go in there and secure a kill.
Essentially, we're going to see the same kind of style. White Pallet picks up the Sejuani again, and it's rinse and repeat here for NZ. Rangitoto College just pulled the Brom, the Kaiser and bot side. As we go on to second ban phase, after that Karma's been locked in, NSW changing things up, but will NZ?
I don't think NZ need to. They showed in the first game just how solid they are as a team. None of them made any mistakes that game. There were slight, small ones, but in terms of just overarching team comp, they were fine. New South Wales, they were much more aggressive. They played patiently, but I think it's all on the back of Chamomile. And let's get off team comps because I know you just want to talk about all of these food names.
You got to pronounce your T right.
Oh, here we go.
It's chamomile tea.
Yeah, the game doesn't matter. It's the pronunciation that matters.
All right. Well, I think at the moment, moving away from chamomile, there seem to be some mid lane bans coming on the side of NZ. They get rid of the Anivia, and the response seems to be the same from NSW with the Galio final ban. They got rid of Bon Appetito's Scions, so unfortunately the tasty meal is just going to get a little bit off. Last ban, here it comes.
I can't handle this.
Well, you're going to have to, mate, because I just listened to you rant about call times. I mean, how are you still working here? There goes Vladimir, and now T-Gun, it's your turn to talk.
Oh my gosh. All the bands still making sense. I would say the one that's really out of place here is the Anivia.
Yeah?
For me, I'm not too sure about that. Yes, Expelliarmus just moving from top to mid, so you do have to place a little bit more priority on his pick. But to me, I look at Karma, and I think that could potentially be the mid laner.
I think at the moment...
Stoneblock played Soraka last game,
Yeah.
banned out now. Karma, to me, not really the same playstyle.
I was going to say, I think at the moment we're expecting that to be. Poppy just got locked in. Now, Akali has been banned away, so we're not going to see that counter matchup, but the Jace, confident pick there, and still a flex at the moment, but it doesn't matter. We're going to see the final pick, and most likely a Jace top.
Oh, I wouldn't lock it in yet. Like you said, it is a flex, and they're hovering some interesting things. Probably top, but Gangplank, that would be a champion. Another flex.
Didn't bet
still,
in the house. That's all right.
But Gangplank could be top here, and on the side of Blacktown Boys, you have to assume Poppy top, Karma, sort of a flex, but I wouldn't really favor it in mid against the Jace. So how do you answer for Blacktown Boys? Things that are open, you have Zoe, Rise available as well, locked in very quickly there.
Yeah, I was absolutely wrong at this point. The Rise getting picked up, very different team compositions. What started out similar for NZ, the shift from Jace now to Gangplank. And this time it's going to be more about the carry threat. You don't have stable tanks. You got Poppy. That's about it. Jace is going to be a very real damage threat.
It looks like they're setting the Jace top as well. They went for that flex. Jace goes top, GP goes mid, sort of the inverse of what you'd regularly expect. On the other side, Blacktown Boys, they've went a real standard comp. Everything going where you expect it. The Karma staying in support, even though I was expecting it to go mid. It's sort of equal likelihood there. And I said it doesn't really play like Soraka. And Soraka, to me, has a pretty unique playstyle. But down in bot lane, if you want poke, if you want damage that can come out, Ezreal Karma, that's a lot of damage in lane.
It really is. And at the moment, I'm going to point out to Summoners because Summoners just gave me a weird moment. Poppy has heal top.
I saw a barrier on Karma as well.
I saw barrier Karma too. Yeah.
So pretty curious ones. Not sure if they're locked in. I'm not going to, as much as I want to sit there and be like, yes, those are definite. I've been wrong before about things like that get swapped at the last second and bites me. So
okay, so Karma did swap to Exhaust at the end. Poppy heal. Could I get a confirmation on that? I assume a teleport swapped out of him in the end anyway. So double TP, bit of global pressure coming through from New South Wales. Now, we want to talk about junglers, do we not? Yes.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I'm not even going to let you finish. Junglers in both games have been potent. Now we have a different matchup. We've got Skana versus Sejuani. So can the same thing happen again when two people are very, very angry junglers?
Much to your dismay, I'm going to say I don't think so. I don't think Skana can play as aggressively as Xin Zhao did. I don't think that the Sejuani is going to get as active as it did in the first game. I think that we will see a much more neutral game from these junglers.
Yep.
One of them might still play more proactively, more aggressively, and if I had to pick one, I'd say White Palette will be that person. But to me, Skana as a pick just does not have that impact that Xin Zhao did. It is not able to be as aggressive, level 2, level 3. You want to
sets up the lanes.
It does, but you want to get level 6. That's your big break point. Much like Nocturne, everything comes together with your ultimate. So you don't want to take those scrappy brawls. You don't want to try and fight for a crab, for the Raptors. You just want to do your own thing. So as much as I do want to see it, like I said, I want to see them scrap. I want to see them fight. For me, Skana, that isn't his game plan.
Well, we'll have to find out because honestly, at the moment, Chamomile has had a pretty dominant run. Yes, it was 30 minutes of gameplay, but now we're into a best of 3. So the format's changed, and this seems to be all about junglers. Junglers dominated in their respective games, and now against each other, it's still that point of, okay, you might be on Skana, but there's a point where you say, right, you've seen Skanas go out of control. Will that point come again?
I think what matters as much as it's the junglers is you go about it in a roundabout way. Do your lanes have priority? Is Rise going to push in? Is Poppy going to push in? Because if they don't, you can't be aggressive. It's as simple as that. Like I said in the first game, White Palette had priority in every lane, so he's able to go in, be aggressive at every camp, at every opportunity.
Yeah.
If you don't have that priority, suddenly it's a lot more dangerous and difficult to find those avenues into the jungle.
Yeah.
Now, the drafts mean that you're not going to have priority in every lane. It's as simple as that, unless your players just play exceptionally well and outplay every mistake made. you won't have that ability to just get into every
It's
camp.
going to be a tough ask considering you put Expelliarmus mid, so he was a top laner from all my understanding, unless, he was a mid laner the whole time, and that's why he went on Maokai top. That makes a bit of sense. But top side of the map,
Does it?
we have Fried Rice 21. Now, I don't know where this guy came from, but
I do.
I do.
Yeah, Blacktown Boys High School.
Oh, God. No, but he's going up against Buon Appetito, which I still can't stop laughing at. That top lane matchup, it's going to be a little bit spicy, my favorite word apparently, because this guy's making his debut in the best of 3.
No, I love that we have such brilliant names, but I hate that they're all food related because it means you're just going to make puns all game long.
Yeah.
And
some would even say the matchup would be a bit umami. Is a new
no
flavor.
one would say that. No one would ever say that.
But have you ever gone out? Have you ever gone out and said something is umami?
No.
No, because you know what umami is, do you?
Yes.
It's like the sixth taste.
I just said I know what it is.
You do. Okay, so what's umami then?
You just explained. Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Help me. I
don't know what
we
it
have
is.
3 minutes before the game starts, so we have to talk about something, but not this.
Okay.
Anything else? How's
Okay.
the weather outside? It's sunny, yeah.
It's 29
talk about that.
degrees.
You talk about Queensland, you love the weather there.
Yeah.
They lost, who cares? Sunny in New
How's the
South
weather
Wales.
in New South Wales? NZ, sorry.
I don't
Cold.
know.
Cold. It's probably snowing over there.
I live in New South Wales.
Isn't it winter over there all the time?
No.
I don't know. Have you been to New Zealand?
That's not how seasons work.
It doesn't matter how seasons work. New
It
Zealand is cold. There's snow there all the time.
No, there is not.
Oh, I went there once and it was winter, so it's probably why. Let's get into game. New Zealand taking on New South Wales. The best of 3 starts now. And T-Gun, that means potentially 3 more hours together.
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking forward to. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to this game, though. Let's
Yeah,
stay
me
on
too.
this. Karma bot lane with the Ezreal, they need to be aggressive. You want to make use of all of that poke. Ezreal Qs, Karma Qs, be as aggressive as possible. Try and weave it around the Braum. Now, even if you hit the Braum, even if you just start pumping damage into him, it is still effective damage. You still deter the all-in potential from DK and Lemon Lord. And you need to make sure that you are chunking them down, because if you go into fights at even health, you will lose.
Because it is the Lemon Lord versus the Penguin Lord, so I don't know where that comes into it. I've noticed that as well.
Which one is better?
Which is the better Lord?
I would go the Penguin Lord.
You reckon? Well, I mean, he's in a carry position, so...
Well,
But
just,
to be
I
fair...
mean, if you're the Lord of Penguins, you command an army. If
Yeah,
you're the
but
Lord of Lemons...
Do you know how much lemons sell for at the supermarket at the moment? You get a bunch for like $4, so if he's the Lord of them, he's making profit.
Yeah, I guess he's rich, but is he strong?
Lord of economics, the Lord of the North Pole? South Pole, sorry. South Pole.
I'm just imagining Santa with a sleigh of penguins.
All right, well, look, before we fall off the rails. Oh, no. At the moment for NZ, they've defined themselves in one game, and it was a quicker game than NSW. Baron was secured. Decision-making was pretty clean. And I think at this point, you're starting to say, look, they're still the favourite. But in best of 3, anything can change.
Well, we saw that in the OCS finals.
We did. Oh, we definitely did.
Now, for me, you're right. The first game was extremely quick, and they haven't really drafted for that. You don't pick Gangplank for quick games.
No.
Gangplank is the person you want to pick on your team when you want to sit there and go to 30, go to 40 minutes, let your lanes extend. And we saw in the first game, they did extend those lanes.
Yep.
It was about, I want to say around 15 minutes till we saw the first tower fall, even though New Zealand were in complete control. So we see a shift there in their drafting strategy. Down in bot lane though, Kaiser Braum still just pushing in. DK and Lemonor just constant aggression.
It's the same as they did in their first game. There has been, I guess, a bit of a lane swap though, so Somnus has gone to the top side, and Buon Appetito is mid. And at the moment, looks pretty good. Expelliarmus getting a very good trade-off. He doesn't have any mana to continue it on, but that does not work out well for the Chase.
I love that in their team, they have the confidence and ability to simply swap your lanes based on the matchups.
Yeah.
They locked it in, Jace top, Gangplank mid, and swapped it around in-game.
But we're going again with the jungle pressure. Chamomile does take away the big raptor and the majority of them as well. White Pallet not getting what he wants, but red buff still sitting there.
Well, what he wants right here is the buff, and all he's doing is trying to be aggressive, trying to fight for that buff. Chamomile doesn't want to give it up, though.
Well, remember that the 1v1 might actually go over to Chamomile, but he did lose his Spire, so it's not going to make a difference. Cone hit, and Pallet goes over to the red.
Jace here with the inside track, and now White Palette starting up red buff. Significantly more health than the Skarner, and Poppy cannot collapse here. Low health on her own.
Yeah.
Difficult spot here for Chamomile, still fighting back though.
Lanes again making a big difference in this jungle invade for NZ. White Palette with the confidence to go forward. He's still on the red buff. Chamomile has the smite available, has to hit it soon. Smite goes down to Chamomile, so White Palette gets nothing.
Great smite there, does secure it. White Palette again, trying to stick his nose in, look for the invade. We saw it in game 1, we see it again here, and Chamomile dealing with it quite well.
Yeah.
Getting the camps, got the big raptor, gets the red buff. White Palette on Krugs, and Chamomile now pathing up to top lane. Probably going to see another scrap.
He's just going to see White Palette again. Chamomile on the try. Sees him first, but remember the one-on-one might actually not be that bad. The slow from White Palette, but Chamomile Fried Rice comes to the rescue, and the Sejuani just has to get out. Meanwhile, it just goes back to a standstill.
Does get the golems and get out. But again, Chamomile is dealing with this pressure, going up, contesting everything he can. Now, down near Crab, exerting a little bit of pressure himself. Gangplank has to recall these. The champion portraits got me a little confused there.
It's all right.
And it's completely different to that game 1, and now fresh off the teleport, Chamomile already up here. Poppy trying to bait in the TP.
He's actually just flashed away. Somnus gets the last parry, but it's not enough for a kill. Chamomile 2 levels behind here, and Somnus is just taking the fight. He says, come at me.
Here comes the third one.
Expelliarmus, will he be able to get the third? Maybe not. Somnus still lives. No one can kill this Gangplank. And New South Wales are left empty-handed.
I told you in game 1.
He didn't even flash.
What a talent this kid is. And he just dealt with all 3, and now Bon Appetito up here for Expelliarmus.
Once again, a tasty meal deal. Expelliarmus walks away. Doesn't have enough mana to stay in Bon Appetito. That's going to be all.
Now, interestingly enough, I said it before, briefly touched on it, Jace and Gangplank swapped in this game to find the matchups they wanted. Ryze and Poppy here, now swapping lanes. You see them follow that switch.
Yeah.
Do we just constantly try and find that 1v1 matchup, or do they simply stay where they were? It's a real just cat and mouse game when you're trying to find specific matchups for the real playstyle change. Jace generally going to do better into Ryze than Gangplank, but also would really decimate the Poppy at this point.
And you saw Expelliarmus just walk straight mid, so the intention was always for Fried Rice to go topside, but it will be as it was at the moment. Still big issues arise where you see a 15 CS lead there for Somnus, and Jace versus Ryze. Bon Appetito, a lead continues once again. Lemon Lord walking towards the enemies in the bot side. Pressure continues to exert.
Now, Poppy falling really far behind here. Very difficult for Poppy to lane into either opponent, and when you can control the wave like Somnus is doing, when you get to decide when and where the Poppy can walk in, where they can farm, suddenly getting any CS is huge. Much less, trying to maintain parity, that's gone out the window. That's not going to happen. All you do, as Fried Rice here, is try and stay in EXP range. Get whatever you can. Get the scraps that are left for you, because Somnus is just so difficult to deal with. You cannot go in and fight. You cannot call up a gank at this point. What can you do for the Poppy? Get your XP and find a teleport target.
It's that individual experience that's just showcasing here for Somnus. And for New Zealand, being red-hot favourites, they have to negate a lot of things. This gank is one of them.
Here comes Chamomile in very early. Braum flash first.
Remember, he doesn't have ult. There's going to be the concussive blows stacking up. There's the ulti from Gangplank. I think they can win this. DK turning the fight. The Realm Warp's coming in as well, but Penguin Lord has no mana. Chamomile only just gets out, and New South Wales trying to execute plays, but New Zealand always denying.
Honestly, at the end of that Realm Warp was a deterrent. The Gangplank ultimate was huge from Somnus, made sure everyone had to back out, and suddenly Ryze, who wants to go in, can't do so. White Palette was slowly making his way down there, so if there was an extension from Expelliarmus trying to get kills at the end there, it would not have worked, would have been cleaned up, so Ryze moved to back out there, but once again, New Zealand, not as explosive this game. Not as interesting, not as impressive in the early game. Just crazy invades from White Palette.
Still impressive in the sense it's been mostly calculated. And at the moment, T-Gun, do they really have to do anything else? There's a 5 CS lead in the mid lane, which is maybe not as impressive. It's going to jump because Bon Appetito just took away Raptors. But the top side of the map, Somnus has a 30 CS lead as a Gangplank.
Yep, you are spot on. The impressive part is how controlled this game is compared to the first game. They're showing they can play at a slower pace. They can simply play a much more controlled, much more calm, collected game. They don't need to play that tempo game. They don't need to invade and be aggressive and snowball games from the get-go. They are very happy to sit in this position where Gangplank is scaling exceptionally well. The Jace is doing fine mid. Kai'Sa is winning bot lane as well. Everyone is happy where they are. They don't need to take risks.
But at the moment, they still want to take that top side. Fried Rice was getting collapsed on, but everyone just walks away. Somnus at the moment having an absolute ball. Fried Rice getting some trades off, but at the end of the day, Somnus still going to hit back harder.
All he is going to do is sustain all of that damage being put his way. He has the refillable potion. Orange is also to help out. Never in danger.
And that's Trinity Force coming now as well.
Yep. All he's doing is just pushing out the wave, recalling, coming back, building towards Trinity Force.
Oh, maybe... Was it?
No, not right now, no.
No, all right. Double dagger.
No, all he's doing is just
Close
setting
enough.
up for that Trinity Force.
Yeah.
There is no rush for him. Like I said, all of New Zealand under no pressure here. Yes, New South Wales scales well. Double tier, of course, on the rise, and then the Ezreal. Both of them happy to sit it out in this early game, take their time. Camille here looking for the engage, but never going to happen here.
It's really hard to get close to Lemon Lord and DK. There's the emotes dropped. The Ezreal emote as well. Why does DK always have his opponent's emote?
This is a team after my own heart. I said before, I wanted emotes. I wanted them to show that flair. We don't get this on Tournament Realm.
First time in OCE, by the way. So it's got to be a first for everything.
I'll take it.
Yep.
Happy to be a part of it.
Happy to be here. Well, DK. T-Gun, he's dropping the emotes for good reason.
One more time, here comes Skarner.
Oh, he's actually been slow this time, so DK might be in a lot of trouble. He ults out of it. Chamomile has to suppress with the Impale, but he's going to get stunned up. Once again, DK re-engaging, and everyone should not be going near DK. He secures first blood, and these are 3 kills that could just be given over to him. DK does not have flash, does not have ulti, but he gets the first blood.
This bot lane from New Zealand is insane. They're turning around 2v3s. Yes, give the assist to Somnus. Great Gangplank ultimate once again, but they kite back so well. DK, perfect ultimate to get out of the Skarner's range. Suddenly he has to go on the Braum, and that is not enough. You cannot try and kill Braum there. You have to kill the damage dealer in the Kai'Sa. It isn't possible. Turnaround kill, easy enough for New Zealand. Now White Pallet invading again. Perfect time.
Who's in more trouble, Stone Block or Chamomile? Right now, both of them. Stone Block, one more hit, but they go right onto Chamomile. Fried Rice TP's in, but he's going to die as well. 4 versus 1, and they turn on to Penguin Lord. A double kill already for the Kai'Sa with 3 kills in the back pocket. Somnus just walks forward and says, I will take you down with him. Everything right for NZ, and whoa, that was close from Born Out Paquito.
We saw this in the first game from New Zealand. Every time an opponent tries to make a proactive play, they are there, collapsing, helping their brothers in arms, making sure no one goes down. And again, great collapse there from New Zealand to stop the pressure from New South Wales. The turnaround in bot lane turns into a proactive play. White Pallet stealing away Gromp, teleports coming down to support his team, and suddenly, this cool, calm, collected, slow game from New Zealand has exploded. Kai'Sa with 3 kills. Gwinsu's finished. Unstoppable on Kai'Sa is DK at this point.
Really, like the respect that's being played to this pick is just not there from New South Wales. No bans towards it, and it is a best of 3. Looking to see those adaptations and how a team grows. What we're here for today. See, the team that gets to the grand finals, they're going to be live here in the studios. Now that is a massive deal. This is exactly where you want to be as a pro player growing. Especially in the scene when you want to get to OCS, when you want to get to the higher moments. Chamomile, at the moment, he has to be careful where he stands. The action continues as Lemon Lord just walks towards the rise. Somnus almost taking Chamomile down. There's a GP Gangplank as well. Be careful where you step.
Chamomile trying to be sneaky there, looking to steal away the Rift Herald, doing the right thing. When you are behind, you try and find any objective you can take. Rift Herald almost gone there, but eventually New Zealand do recognize what's happening, collapse on him, make sure he has to get out of there. And pretty big goal deficit to some out here for New South Wales. 13.5 minutes in, you were feeling okay. You were scaling. Tier on Rise, Tier on Ezreal. Now you go in on Kai'Sa.
I think he can actually do this 1v2. DK just ults behind him. There's the Cannon Barrage. Flashes out to outplay, but it won't come through. Penguin Lord standing in front of Lemon Lord. But I think this is the moment where Brom just takes the kill for good luck. And turret goes down on the top side. Lemon Lord will eventually get the kill.
Oh, don't do him like that.
Oh, Expelliarmus actually going to die as well. Bon Appetito probably didn't need to flash, but kill goes over all the same.
I love that all of these New Zealand players are willing to do what they've just done. Now, some people are sitting there at home, probably shaking their finger, going, no, don't do that. That's bad-mannered. The Braum standing there, making sure the minions finished off Ezreal. And then after the kill, Jace is taking a moment to soak in the 1v1 kill he just got. Everything these New Zealand players do, showing that little bit of flair, is so wonderful. It breaks my heart as someone from New South Wales. Obviously a little biased.
It's alright, TK.
But New Zealand are a team that they're making me a fan.
Yeah. I think New Zealand have been pretty clinical so far. It's been Sominus, the story of him, but also I think in a game where we're expecting White Palette and Chamomile to be the main effect, it just hasn't been the case. Chamomile unable to get into lanes, White Palette being reactionary rather than being the proactive player.
He's spot on. Every time Chamomile looks to get into a lane, bot lane especially, it just never happened. And he tried, mind you, he tried and tried again, but there was never an avenue to find a kill. And Skarner a little better off aware than Nocturne is when ults don't go down, but you still need to try and be proactive. Find someone. Look for Jace at this point. Easier said than done.
On a side note, just watching that as Chamomile, no, never mind, he's been caught out. He has ult.
He's
There's
fine.
the blast cone.
He's fine.
Right. On that note, with Sominus on Gangplank, Permafrost, Sejuani's E just gets procced every 2 seconds. I just realized that, like, there's a mid laner who's melee, there's a top laner who's melee. White Palette gets his E every half second.
Well, I'm not so sure I'd call Jace melee.
Well,
He can be, but
he will
he
be.
Not so often. But you are right, there is some great synergy there. Gangplank especially is going to work extremely well with White Palette, and we're seeing a very different New Zealand side this game, but nonetheless, a definitively strong New Zealand side. White Palette here looking to
Oh,
Stone
he's found the Winter Spite. That's a dead Karma. DK walks forward. Chamomile on the side. I'm not sure if this T can get in, but New Zealand, they'll take one kill again, and it looks like that turret will fall soon.
Chamomile on the side there thinking maybe he can support this bot lane. Maybe they can stop this pressure, but once Stone Block is gone, he's caught in there thinking, do I really want to go in? Answer is no, and once again, New Zealand proactivity, just making the plays happen. Now, White Palette here.
He wanted the Spire. He's not going to die for it. DK just ults into Chamomile. True Shot Barrage denied. They turn onto Expelliarmus. The Kai'Sa will pick that kill up. Meanwhile, Lemon Lord keeping them busy. One Shock Blast was needed. It misses, but they jump in again. And DK with 6 kills once again.
DK dove in there into 3 members from New South Wales without a second thought about it. Straight into the backline. Poppy here trying to stop the pressure.
Fried Rice, not sure if this is going to work out. Bon Appetito just lays into him with DK. The mini Shock Blast. Even that's going to do a bit of damage. NZ, they back off from the play, but what happens on the top side of the map?
This is why you give Gangplank the Rift Herald in this situation. He wants to be split pushing. He doesn't want to go to those fights, and the second his opponent's gone, suddenly it's a tower. Suddenly it's an objective loss. Great play there from New Zealand, both on the bot side to get the pick. DK throwing himself in harm's way.
Okay.
And then opposite that, Somnus just on his own. Happiness in the side lane. Rift Herald goes down, gets them a tower, and now almost 10,000 gold. What was such a stable early game has just taken a massive turn for the worse.
Look at
for New South Wales.
Almost 4,000 gold over Fried Rice. Even Bon Appetito, 1K, sorry. Maybe I'm going back to my early days.
Back in high school.
3K gold. Yeah, no, that's it for me. 3K gold for DK over Penguin Lord, and everything's coming up right for New Zealand. Baron's going to be up in a minute 45, and I'm going to go sit in the corner.
Now, on that gold, make sure you remember Gangplank going into Poppy, Jace going into Rise, so it's a little bit chaotic trying to make sense of it all, but the main thing to take away is Gold lead everywhere for New Zealand. Control for New Zealand, and New South Wales, much like Tasmania had to try in the first game, they need to look for a pick somewhere. They need to try and find something to take back control.
They're trying to find DK, but DK's just found them. I think he ulted him once again. Penguin Lord is dead, and Expelliarmus has to Realm Warp away. Almost dies in the process, and DK is literally the Drift King right now.
DK is not the person you try and find. He is not the person that you can lock down unless Skarner is there, and even then, you better kill him while he is ulting. Otherwise, he's got to turn it all around.
Oh, he's dancing.
The damage he puts out, they have earned those emotes. They have earned the dances.
I think right now we're seeing serious contenders. New Zealand, Kamal tries to make the engage. He's just going to die for it again. And New South Wales, their proactivity is really biting them here. Number 9 for DK.
It's incredible just how composed he is. Once again, I want to stress this. This is a high school kid. This isn't an OCS player or an OPL player. This isn't someone who's been in this situation.
Oh no.
It's a high school kid, and he looks as composed as ever.
Oh. Sorry, Tegan, I saw something there.
And
we're not even at 20. We're not even 20 minutes yet. And DK has 9 kills. Baron is up now. Well, 3 seconds, and Baron's up. So next kill, that could start it off at NZ. Remember their Baron from game 1. It was precise, it was comfortable. They left no opportunity for Tasmania to get anywhere near. New South Wales, risky Barons. The difference at the moment in game 1 being seen, Cannon Penguin Lord really maybe shouldn't have taken that 1v1, just gets dismantled by Somnus.
Now you see why the strength of Gangplank is there. Trinity Force Youmu's, and the second he got into melee range, it was all over. Flash was not available in that fight. It has just come off cooldown. Somnus, easy 1v1, and like you said in the first game, cool control Baron, never a doubt, never a steal possibility, and I expect the same here from New Zealand.
Also, side note, DK just picked up a Magi's fresh. So, here we go.
Can you blame him?
Nope, not at the moment. DK walks forward, wants to get his first stack. Expelliarmus will drop for it. 2 already, make that 6. DK walks forward. Fried Rice here as well. Maybe over-ambitious.
Oh,
he
no.
gets shut down, and there goes the Magi stack. Chamomile still going to get chased up, and although the Kaiser's dead, the rest of the team are doing the work for him. Penguin Lord, see you later. The Ignite drops. Redemption, will it save him? Not this time. Somnus will survive too with a double kill.
New Zealand really feeling it, going deep. The second he got that Magi's, he went for everything. Fried Rice soon to fall here. Complete control all game from everyone. 10 kills on the Kaiser out of 18 for the team. First game it was White Palette. Second game it's DK. And each time I was expecting it to be Somnus.
And this is a crazy stake, T-Gun. New Zealand coming up huge for their country. I know it tilts. His Stone Block only just going to survive there, but at the moment it might not matter. This bottom lane inhibitor turret is soon to drop.
Now there's only so much you can do to slow them down. The turret doesn't fall yet, but no one gets caught off the back of it. That 10,000 gold lead, now closer to 15,000.
Yep.
DK with the Magi's. You can tell he was feeling it. You can tell he wants to get those stacks up. He's diving the inhibitor turret.
And the other time that he dies is when he just picks up the Magi's. So
it makes sense, you know, he's just going in. You see him taunting the opponents, throwing up the every emote he has.
Throwing up an emote, I was like, all right. He's 10-2 T-Gun, and he's got a Giant's belt. I think we're going to see a Frozen Mallet coming next.
Potentially.
If we get there.
I'm not even sure he has to back again. There is a very real possibility New Zealand end this game before DK goes back to base.
Oh.
And New South Wales, they're doing everything they can to stall out the game. But 16,000 gold down. There is only so much you can do. That is a completed item on every member.
Yep.
That is not something that you can overcome in a 5v5 fight. Like I said before, they need to pick someone off before it kicks off. And then you can win fights.
Well, they're going to pick up DK. They're going to pick up One Appetito. At the moment, Somnus seems to be the biggest threat, despite everything. Side lane, an issue. He'll go back bot, and that inhibitor turret was just taken down, but they can't push in any further. Or can they?
We see a ping on Baron there from New Zealand, but I think they know they don't need it. They are so far ahead. Baron is not necessary to close out this game. Inhibitor now under siege as well. 5v3 here, but for how long will it remain that way?
I mean, the 1-3-1 or the 3-1-1, if you want to call it that. Now in effect for NZ, the Baron not being looked at seriously. Even the Dragon just left there by Somnus. They're pushing in the waves. They're starting the fight on the side. Lemon Lord, Fried Rice gets the knock in. They've suppressed the Kaiser. DK lives, however, and now he's looking for more stacks. Ults into the back. Stone Block gonna die next. That is 8 stacks. Make it 12. Make it 18. A quadra kill. And DK coming up huge.
White Palette playing spoiler, making sure he doesn't get the pentakill, but it's a quadra kill. It's an ace, and that is the game for New Zealand.
Immediately, they come onto Summoner's Rift in this best of 3 against New South Wales, and they stamp their foot down. They say, we are the best high school. And what a lead to start us off, T-Gun. Especially in a best of 3 that gets you into the final. New Zealand, 1-up.
I wish they would close out the game, but look at them. They are the young, the brash players, like I've been saying, trying to taunt them, trying to farm them at the fountain.
Can they
and
end anymore?
coming back to bite them in the ass, and they deserve
no.
it. They deserve to not end here after that. DK recalling in front of the fountain.
Right.
How dare you?
All right. I mean, that's fair. They'll just walk forward anyway. And Poopin' Lord just gets almost deleted. A great shield will save from Karma. They re-engage at no health, and they're just picking up more kills. New South Wales are saying, what is happening here? Maybe now it's going to be over. The flash forward. Penguin Lord finally dies. And what was absolutely fair has now just turned into dismantling at the seams. NZ, another quadra kill, this time over to the gangplank, and NZ will finally pick up their win.
Look, I was saying I love the emotes, and I love these small things, but now it's too far.
Doesn't matter. NZ get game 1 against New South Wales. They're a match point here to move into the finals on October 20th.
Incredible game from New Zealand. Let me start with this. Incredible game. Completely different to the first one. Completely different pace. Very patient, very controlled. But after that end, I have to say, I want New South Wales to take the next game.
Okay.
I don't care that you want to be unbiased, but when you sit there, you farm them at the fountain, you taunt them, you're playing around at the end, just finish the game. Give them the respect they deserve. I want New South Wales to run it back.
Okay, all right, well, that's fair enough. I mean, I want a game 3 just because I want to see a game 3, but sure. New South Wales started out, I'd say, not too bad.
Yeah.
There were a lot of responses from White Palette that were denied by Chamomile, and then suddenly, it's the Kaiser again.
DK once again proving how strong he is. That bot lane for New Zealand is just impressive to say the least, constantly pushing in, looking for 2v2s, 2v3s even.
Yep.
You have to ban Kaiser. You have to say
second game in a row.
It cannot be led through. He's just made a huge statement how good he is on the champion, how impactful he is. Sure, he's probably still going to be great on Tristana or on Ashe or on Varus, something else, but surely not as good as a Kaiser.
I think this time you ban it away. We're going to find out. New South Wales against match point now. They've got to bring it back in a reverse sweep. We're going to have a 5-minute break this time, and yes, I'm sure it's a 5-minute break this time. Game 2 coming up next. And welcome back to the High School Nationals, where we just saw New Zealand take game number 1 of the semi-finals. My name's Jake Asteric, Sozzy Penko, Bradley Ting, and Seymour, of course, with me. And now we're into game 2, where New Zealand match points go into the grand finals on October 20th.
What a dominating game 1 from New Zealand as well. Again, credit to them. It was very different from the game we saw against Tasmania. Very controlled, but once they started snowballing, once they found an avenue to win, which was through bot lane, through DK, it felt just impossible to come back from.
It feels like they can change their avenue as well. We saw Jungle in game number 1 against Tasmania, the first game of the High School Nationals here. And then now it's DK again, but this time the spotlight was purely on him.
Yeah, without a doubt. You had Somnus in the side lane. He was performing fine. Like, everyone in New Zealand was great. But DK was just out of control.
It's not even game 3 and we're blessed with Dodo Sin. We've now swapped sides. And Rangitoto College, that time I hope I got it right, will be on the red side this time. Blacktown Boys High School on blue. It will be alternating, and we see a Kaiser ban to kick things off.
Wow, So Pro is back, and Expelliarmus, the journeyman, has went from top to mid now to jungle.
What a versatile man.
Everyone else stays the same, and the roster changes. The game 1, yes, they were stable for quite a while, so I'm not sure if it was necessary. Kaiser ban first up. I think that is well earned by DK. From here, though, New South Wales, they need to really set something up for victory. They need to find a lane that works.
I think this is a great start, though, because Gangplank off the board, they've just taken things they cannot deal with. Is the versatility of New Zealand going to be too much? The Yasuo was the final ban that Somnus dominated Tasmania on. And you're just getting rid of response bans if you're New Zealand. The Soraka the final. And here's where it all counts. First pick for New South Wales. What are they going to start with?
I don't want to see the Shen. While Shen is great, don't get me wrong, you can put it in support top and be quite happy with it. There are so many strong things left open. I want to see something like a Zoe. Yes, it's a bit of a callback. We don't see it so often anymore, but that is a champion where you can show your skill and carry games on. Vayne hover here from DK. We'll talk about it. Locked in.
Not a hover. Now, Vayne has been coming back into the spotlight again. I'm not just saying that because we see it.
A little bit.
Well, I think there was some teasers from Uzi a couple of days ago. Not playing, but just teasers in Champs League. But it's been locked in.
It's slowly coming back. And
DK.
I tell you what, if there is a person in this game to pick it, obviously it would be DK after that performance.
And want the music to go with it.
He is going to be on an absolute high.
Oh, yeah.
He is going to be feeling himself, knowing that he is as good as he thinks he is.
They've just changed things up altogether, though.
Yeah.
So although DK is coming off that high, Lemon Lord as well goes over to the Tahm Kench, even when the problem is available.
It makes a bit of sense here. You have so much priority on Vayne. You want to make sure that she is able to carry and able to just go in, be aggressive, and you use the Tahm to bail you out of those bad situations. Jinx the answer from Penguin Lord. And that is a gauntlet being thrown.
I like it, though. I think this is what New South Wales needed to do. They needed to throw that gauntlet. They needed to go head first into New Zealand.
I agree to an extent. It's one of those things where this lane down in bot now means so much. You could have neutralized the lane, pick something like Caitlyn, and just try and stall out the Vayne. Get rid of some CS and make the game go a bit longer.
New South Wales don't want to do that.
You throw the gauntlet. You pick Jinx. This is now a lane waiting to explode. One of these ADCs is going to get extremely strong extremely quickly.
But on that note as well, it's probably not going to be the only lane. Ahri just locked in. That throws a different gauntlet out on Summoner's Rift.
That is another unique pick we see today. Nidalee as well. A bit of a callback here. And Ahri, Human used her to major success a little bit ago, almost a year now.
Wow, So Pro had a good Akali game. I trust in the Assassins.
Anytime you sort of prefer those champions with the mobility of the Assassins, it tends to carry over. The Ahri pick here going to do work. Now you have 2 bans here to reduce Somnus' pool, but he has already shown his versatility, picking up Gangplank and also, I believe it was Yasuo in the first game. 2 very different champions, very different styles. And how do you really ban that out? The Kassadin gone, which I believe is one of his most played champions. You can't stop someone who is able to play something from Yasuo to Gangplank. That's just 2 extremes that you're showcasing.
And at this point, you've gotten rid of another extreme in the Udi. You've gotten rid of jungle bans if you're NZ. with these mid-lane bans sitting high and mighty on Somnus. I mean, we could just see Bon Appetit go mid again. Lane swaps seem to be another comfortable, not really a lane swap, but you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, if they find two matchups that they want, they can definitely do that. They've shown that ability, which is great from New Zealand. Much like flex picks, you have to show that you can play them in both lanes. When you can show that your top is willing to go mid, your mid's willing to go top just to chase down matchups, find advantages, it is massive in terms of drafting and playing against that team. It is now incredibly difficult to figure everything out. Cho'Gath locked in. That is another flex being used by New Zealand. And I have to say, coming into the best of threes, I was saying before it even started, drafting is such a huge thing. Olaf, another big pick. I'll get into that in a second.
Yep.
New Zealand showcasing why drafting is so impactful.
They really are. I think at the moment, T-Gun, that Olaf, what's it paired with? A Nautilus? There's a good front line there, but I'm concerned if anyone falls behind.
Yeah, there is not much damage coming from Blacktown Boys, is there? It is all Jinx and Ahri.
Yep.
If they do not do damage, suddenly no one is going to die. But that being said, like I said, Jinx is a champion that does incredible amounts of damage, and if she gets ahead, suddenly this team from Blacktown Boys, what they've created is an old school comp.
Wow.
Front to back all the way.
Hey, speaking of old school comp, that is a Lucian mid.
I wouldn't even call that old school. That is so unique. Very few mid laners have played Lucian mid, even when it was meta.
That's like 8.1, Tiga. Not even that. It's like 7.1.
Before 8.1.
I mean, it did come back at 8.1
a little
for a couple of weeks.
A little bit. But you are right. It is a bit of a throwback. It deals with Ahri extremely well. You have that ready dash available to dodge out from the charm. You can be aggressive. And if there's a player that we've seen be versatile today, it is Somnus. Now showing once again how flexible he is. Three very unique champions in terms of playstyle. Showcasing his ability. First time on stage, I believe, for him.
As far as we know, yeah.
And once again, I keep getting hung up on this. I feel like a broken record.
What, the challenger player in high school?
Well, just him being a high school player, showcasing his deep champion pool.
He's top 1%.
His ability, it is incredible. And if I'm an OPL team, or if I'm an OCS team, this is the sort of player I'm looking forward to build for the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is what this is all about. This is about the high school players putting themselves in our eyes and I guess getting scouted is an easy way to summarize that, really. I think at the moment, the New Zealand team, they've set up a tone, and New South Wales now have to match that tone. There is no way that you do not want this to go all three games.
Oh, without a doubt you want all three games. But for me, this is such an explosive game. Like I said before, bot lane, it has to go off. Jinx or Vayne, one or the other, is going to win this lane just unanimously. And DK has already proved how strong he is. He's already proved he is a force to be reckoned with. Throwing the gauntlet and picking Jinx there is risky. Yes, if they win the lane, they probably win the game. It was quite simple. If Jinx gets ahead with this team comp, you have such a beefy front line, you will not be touched by anybody.
But I feel like Ahri is a big influence in that as well. Like, if the Ahri falls behind, like, Jinx may be fine. If the Ahri falls behind, you kind of got a similar situation. The fact that you've got one lane. Like, Ahri behind, what does Ahri do? It's a charm. Okay, cool.
Well, she's still an assassin. Even with less damage, if she can find an avenue onto Vayne, she can still assassinate her.
Sure.
Yes, much harder. You have Tom Kench there to bail her out, so unlikely. But even when you are behind on an assassin, if you find the right target, it's all right.
Let's talk about that Vayne pick, though, because that was locked in. Slam locked in, first pick red side. Like, you're not worried about being countered. You're not worried. I mean, Jinx, in essence, you know. Well, Vayne gets countered by everyone in lane, doesn't she?
Yeah, pretty much. I would say Jinx does quite well. But like I said, it is a lane that is going to explode. It's not like Jinx is just going to win that lane no matter what. Vayne has very real potential to kill the Jinx, very real ability to be aggressive, to trade with the Jinx. But Jinx wins the lane naturally, has a bit more range, has a bit more utility. And if she gets ahead, is massive. But the Vayne pick from DK, that to me says he is feeling it. He is confident. He is ready to go.
Should.
And a confident Vayne player is either going to end the game 10-0 or 0-10.
Yeah, that's
there
right.
There is no other
confident
scoreline.
in what regard? That's the real question.
Well, it's, I mean, everyone's played with this Vayne player, right? You play with a person that is completely confident in their own abilities, as DK should be.
They just first lock it and they're like, don't worry, guys, I'm good Vayne.
And it's all about the early game for him then.
Yeah.
If he can get ahead like we've seen him do before, we're going to see another game where he's diving mid-tier inhibitors, diving that backline. But if he gets behind, we haven't seen this from any of the New Zealand players. How do they play from behind?
Because they haven't. Really, every single lane has been ahead every single game so far today. And it has been a bit of a shorter day, but this game, this series, has the potential to go the distance. New South Wales have to buckle in.
Yep.
That Jinx pick, you talked about it. We've really gone on about it because if this pick does not work, then New Zealand could take this 2-0, move straight into the grand finals October 20th, and then verse the winner of the other side of the bracket. So at the moment, New Zealand looking like very good contenders, but New South Wales, they're running close.
Well, they've built a good team comp to run it back. That's what I said in Champ Selectors. You have built this old school, very easy to execute. This is something we always talk about, is how easy is your comp to execute.
Yep.
New South Wales have a very easy comp. It's stand behind your big, beefy front line as the Jinx and Ari, and all will be well.
And then what do we look for on because New South Wales, there's a beefy comp, but you look at I forgot his name is Nautilus, by the way. Nautilus was slam locked last, and that is a unique pick.
Yeah, but it has what is very important in this game, point and click lockdown.
True.
You're dealing with two very, very difficult ADs to lock down. You deal with multiple champions in this game that are so difficult to lock down. Nautilus is the answer. Point and click lockdown is very, very scarce in League of Legends for a good reason, because it is massive.
That's true. Actually, no, you're right. You're always right, Tegan. Let's go into game number 2.
Thanks, buddy.
New Zealand taking on New South Wales. Match point for New Zealand, and New South Wales have to start making that reverse sweep. Does it look difficult? Well, we look at that bottom lane and we see how it goes. White Pallet taking the carry jungle. His influence down there might be all it takes.
Now, one thing we haven't touched on yet, and I'll just get into it now quickly, is the Olaf pick. And that is so unusual, right? Because Olaf isn't really meta, and when he is picked, he's so aggressive. Yet, he still has his place here. We just glossed over it because there is so much going on. You know, the Lucian mid, the Jinx ADC, the Vayne ADC. But Olaf jungle for this team comp, you needed some aggression.
Stoneblock just took 2 spears, by the way.
Dodge the 3rd, it's fine. Dodge the 4th, it's fine.
All right.
Everything's fine.
White Pallet just had a guess.
The Olaf needs to be aggressive early on, and we know that both teams' junglers love being aggressive. Yes, Expelliarmus is his first game in jungle. But generally, even when a team member is substituted in or out, the general gameplay remains the same.
It does.
We saw it in the OCS even when Unisop was subbed out. The gameplay of Diacubs remained the same. They still played through an aggressive jungler, and I expect the same to be true here for New South Wales. Now, the Olaf needs to be aggressive early. That is a champion that gets weaker as the game drags on. And I don't mean 5 minutes, I mean roughly 20 minutes when items start kicking in and champions start scaling up. But Expelliarmus, he needs to get into lanes early. And I want him to be in that bot lane. Feel like a broken record going back to the Jinx and Vayne.
Oh, yeah.
But these are two champions that have the ability, the capability to simply carry the whole game. A little bit of a stutter there. And for me, Penguin Lord on Jinx, I want Jinx to start getting excited.
Yeah. White Pallet, though. Influence to the bottom lane again. Once again, those junglers. Wow. So pro. All right.
Struggling.
That is a big, big start. Somnus taking press the attack, by the way. So, looks like he got the full proc off.
You love press the attack.
It is actually the best, by the way. Kai'Sa, take it on anyone. You can take it on Jinx. Lethal Tempo on Jinx, by the way.
You can take it on Vayne.
What do you think of Lethal Tempo on Jinx? I don't think you need it.
I think it's fine. I think you can proc it quite easily.
That's fair.
I think, you know, it's one of those, again, I think it's completely fair, actually. I can't really see an argument against it.
I mean, you max your Q first by 3 stacks. You've probably got like 1.5 anyway. All right, Tig, I know.
You still, I mean, it's completely fine. I'm not getting into this one right now.
No, I'm just trying to get you. But anyway, look, Expelliarmus, his first jungle game here. Will it be his last? I'm not too sure. Bon Appetito. Oh, just taking it to fried rice.
We've seen this every game from Bon Appetito. Every time he finds trades in top lane, he's coming off on the better end. He's chasing down his opponent, generally has the wave behind him to help, and is sustaining beyond what they can keep doing. beyond the brawling power of his opponent. And against his Shen, generally, Shen can sustain quite fine. Not the case right now.
No, especially not when Nidalee's coming up to the top side. The Rupture and the Spear both miss. Fried Rice, the Shadow Dash away. Second time New South Wales have played this Shen in the top side of the map. And meanwhile, mid, wow, so pro again. This time he has to flash.
Somnus showing the strength of Lucian mid, the brawling power. White Palette a little caught out here,
Pounce over the wall. Look who's coming in though. Bon Appetito wants to collapse. Fried Rice goes straight in with the Shadow Dash. Gets the Spear, the slow down, but even with the disturbed build, Bon Appetito turns. First blood, 2 kills. Rupture's there too. Somnus comes in with the Ardent Blaze to take away the kill.
The collapse there from the New Zealand team wins them the fight. Wow, so pro not able to react, so it was never going to be the numbers advantage there for New South Wales. And again, New Zealand get an early lead. Time and time again, even in game 2, they didn't get first blood early, but they got a lead. And here,
it's
DK
happening
looking for it
again.
again.
Ignites down. The Vane's going to get the kill. Third hit. Lemon Lord takes it away and even flashes off the backside there. But another kill for NZ, nice and early.
DK might not have got the kill, but look at the CS discrepancy down in bot lane already. 20 CS will build to more. Jinx is going to get zoned off this wave. Now Ari almost dove by White Palette.
Yep, blocked by the minion, but he walks back into the wave. Is this going to cost him? White Palette level 3, the Spear dodged again. And this Ari, 20 CS behind as well.
He needs to recall.
He will die.
He needs to recall at this point. Wow, so pro might just die to Somnus on his own. If not, White Palette, he will be happy to sit there and just throw spears.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to get the kill. All you're doing is being zoned off CS. Now you're down almost 20. Expelliarmus needs to come in, hold away, let you get that recall off, get back into lane. Right now, the pressure from New Zealand is incredible once again.
He's in the same position. There is a ward there. The Spear, just to take a turret shot. White Palette wants the old Nidalee Spears, where you'd want, I mean, it's going to one-shot anyway at this point. He's going to back. Actually, he's just been spotted by Expelliarmus, but he walks over him. And meanwhile, Wow So Pro just died. We called it, but there it is.
It was inevitable at that point. Ari was on such low health with no flash that even though Somnus has cleanse, he can just go in whenever he wants. Fried Rice now going in on Bon Appetito with a huge wave behind him.
I feel like Fried Rice can do a little bit more than that. Bon Appetito forced back, but the trades will get even. Pushing the top side as we look at this replay Tegan again.
Here comes Somnus, ultimate, hits every bullet.
Oh.
As simple as that. And I was going to make a joke about Nidalee Spears and how you miss every shot you don't take, but Somnus there just hit every shot he took.
And that is the second kill for the Lucian mid as well. 30 CS up at 6 minutes in the game. Bot side's accruing a very similar lead. And again, it's just top side, which won't matter for Bon Appetito.
Game 1, White Palette. Game 2, DK. Game 3, right now.
Somnus again.
Somnus.
He flashes, almost cancels his auto, Tegan. Almost is the key word there.
Almost, but it doesn't matter. He gets the kill. Up in top.
Fried Rice has ultimate. Fried Rice not going to get out the flash for flash. Bon Appetito doesn't cast the feast.
Now, New South Wales are in a bit of a hole here. 3,000 gold at 7 minutes is a bit of a hole.
Might be more. DK, actually, Lemon Lord eats him up. Grace took a couple of turret shots to flash away. Penguin Lord can't get a response to zap the flash. This is the commit we wanted to see. Lemon Lord might die here. Grey Health consumed, but a good condemn by DK. Saves the day. Stone Block doesn't cast the Q. No dredge line, and DK says no worries.
He did cast the Q. It just got clipped
was
into
it on
the
the wall?
So close, but so far away. And I was going to say, New South Wales need to play through this bot side. They're trying. They almost found it. Now White Palette next
It's level 6
Expelliarmus.
versus level 5. Is he going to flash over the wall? White Palette waiting for the spear. Doesn't land. He flashes anyway. Wants to take the one-on-one, but the Stand United's there. White Palette flashes the mastery, but you better go back to rank 1 after that play.
White Palette finally caught overextending. This man has been so aggressive every game, and New South Wales clamped down on him, say, no, you cannot get away with this. They're coming back into this game, not giving up. And I was saying before, they need to play through Penguin Lord. Bot lane right now is going New Zealand's way, but you see Stoneblock and Penguin Lord, they're trying to look for the ability to catch someone. They almost caught the Tahm Kench. Once Nautilus is level 6, they have to look for Vayne.
DK is just in his comfortable position as always. New Zealand, their individual lanes, always so dominant, but I want to bring it back to Expelliarmus while we watch Juan Apetito steal away a blue buff, which is very annoying if you're Expelliarmus. His third role out of 3 games. And this time, Expelliarmus in a very key role taking over Chamomile has made something happen, but that's off the back of White Palette.
He's still getting impactful though. White Palette, this is the first game where he hasn't been able to do whatever he wants. I would say he has lost the jungle 1v1 in this game so far.
Okay.
Right now, every other lane is winning, so there's an argument to be made that he's doing that for his team.
I think you're right, though.
But maybe it's perhaps I'm holding him to an extremely high standard because of his game 1 and 2. Right now, the Nidalee pick helped out in mid lane with those spears that he was throwing, kept the Ahri around. Can he get active again? Because if he does get active, that could seal this game already for New Zealand.
At the moment, 20 CS down in that jungle, but we're looking at the bot side again, where the fight has just broken out. Stoneblock has been eaten up by the Tahm Kench. Lemon Lord drops him down. Great condemn with the ultimate there. The final hour from DK. Double knock-up. Nothing happens, and Penguin Lord cannot finish the fight. Meanwhile, in the top side of the map, White Palette is at it again.
Tahm Kench catches the Nautilus. Now they're looking to dive the Jinx as well.
Lemon Lord is taking turret shots, almost gets the kill, but the response is too good, too great from DK.
Great juggle of the turret aggro there from Lemon Lord, and DK once again massively ahead in this bot lane. 2 kills, 30 CS. The Vayne pick first up for New Zealand. Little bit risky, but it is paying off.
This bottom lane from New Zealand has started dominating the
Here comes
semi-finals. Expelliarmus may come in. Lemon Lord doesn't have grey health, but the issue is DK right now. Rocket, yeah, it's a little bit low, T-Gun.
Just goes wide.
Bit of a shame there. Plays coming through from New South Wales. Just not able to get the results they want.
They are still being active, but everything is missing just by an inch. Just like that rocket there. Every time they've went for something, New Zealand have just had enough to hold them off. Enough health, enough distance. Everything is done just in small amounts. New Zealand playing right on the edge of aggression here. And the only time it has been too much was White Palette in the jungle.
Yeah.
One mistake over 12 minutes. I would go so far to even say probably all of their games, one big mistake, and not even that big, is a massive, massive turnout.
It looks clinical, and you can see again, DK just got his 3rd kill. Penguin Lord has been caught out as well. Somnus came to join the party, and he'll pick up another.
It is nothing short of impressive by New Zealand how well they have played every game so far.
Yep.
The champion diversity they have shown, the teamwork they have shown, the individual skill they have shown is incredible for a high school team. New South Wales here.
Just struggling.
They have such a hole to dig themselves out of.
Well,
Expelliarmus here looking for Somnus.
Now remember, Unstoppable is going to come through. Somnus will get slowed down. He flashes over the wall. The Spear's response almost dies to the undertow. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, always pop your pots. As Palette and Lemon Lord walking mid. Expelliarmus, one more hit. He gets suppressed, eaten up, gobbled down. And what looks so good for Expelliarmus.
If there is ever an example of just how close New Zealand have been time and time again to dying, that is a perfect one.
Yeah.
DK here, he will take this 2v1. You know at this point he is feeling himself.
Maybe
he
not.
will turn around.
Well, hang on. The flash forward. There's the dredge line. Lockdown. Exhausted. The 2v1. Maybe not a potential anymore. DK doesn't have the ulti available, but Stoneblock has taken one too many shots. Penguin Lord walks forward, and the ultimate is not available, so the Super Mega Death Rocket cannot finish that off.
Here comes Nidalee and Tahm Kench. Penguin Lord knows he's been caught out
He
here.
just waited. I guess that was well done, but he's getting collapsed on again. This time the flash is there. Penguin Lord will run away. Stoneblock, he's dead. Penguin Lord trying to do what he can to save his support, but if he comes back in, he might die. Sominus is in from the side as well. Snowblock is already dead. Expelliarmus trying to save his 80 carry now. And so back and forward for New South Wales, but I'm not sure they can keep this up.
Penguin Lord did his best there. Tried to save the Nautilus, but it was all for naught. There was no way he was getting out.
I get it.
No way.
Nice, Tiga. Nice. Well, at this point, you have to make some sacrifices if you're New South Wales.
Yep.
Getting caught out means that someone is most likely going to die. And this time for New Zealand, it is a 10k gold lead just about at 14 minutes. Even more convincing than game 1.
They have to just find a pick. Somnus here may be caught out.
Penguin Lord doesn't have any mana, but look at Somnus. Gets the culling.
Wow.
Finishes him off. Somnus lives. Triumph gets him back up to full health. And Fried Rice wants the kill. Tom Kench is coming in. The Shen, can he get Somnus? He's like, oh, maybe not.
Shen saw Tom Kench and thought twice about going on Lucian there. Backed out. And now Lemon Lord a little bit far forward.
Lemon Lord, I think they thought he's going to flash onto the wall, but he's fine for now. The Grey health.
Good
They've
thought.
found the vein. DK will ult. This is the outplay needed. He goes onto Walso Pro. The Ari gets decimated, and DK from the backside is just deleting Fried Rice. Stoneblock comes in to die, and everyone dies. DK cleans up another fight.
Kai'Sa or Vayne, it does not matter. DK simply stays alive in these fights, kills everyone from the back line. How do you stop this man?
Oh,
White
no.
Palette even finding Penguin Lord off the back, and now 11,000 gold at 15 minutes. Olaf being chased down.
Lemon Lord's going to pop the Grey Help. That hurts. Expelliarmus again.
Look at his
Lemon
health.
Lord lives. And that's an Italy hill, but she dies in the end anyway. Doesn't mean this mid inhibitor turret is not going to fall.
Finally, someone died at the
What?
end of it. Lemon Lord, what are you doing?
Lemon Lord just throws his top plate into the enemy team. They turn anyway. Fried Rice just about to die to minions. The last hit, look at it. Oh, he lives. But only just.
Lemon Lord and Buon Appetito also dodged the Jinx rocket there. They get out again on no health. How do they keep getting away with it? Every time, I think they may have overstepped their boundaries.
A little bit.
They may have went too far.
He
They
just
know
spat
their limits.
T-Gun, he spat Buon Appetito
Hey,
into the enemy team.
We don't know if Buon Appetito didn't throw himself in there.
Well, sure.
We don't know.
At this point in time, it doesn't matter.
I'm
though.
a Tom Kench player.
I know
and
you are.
Whenever I devour people, they throw themselves out in the weirdest positions.
He's just
Alright,
like, what?
so-
You want to stop here? It's like someone who presses the bus stop button at the weirdest time. Like, this is not even a stop, dude. Stone block. This Lucian's just 1v4ing. Somnus.
What are you doing?
What? He gets one, almost gets stone black. DK walks forward, and this New Zealand roster are absolutely insane.
He almost
Look
has
at the
flash.
forward. Double kill. Expelliarmus does not have a flash, and DK almost takes him with him.
Tom Kench is in the base now trying to chase down the Olaf as well, and up
What?
top, Fried Rice is not long for this
He's
world.
definitely dead. Buon Appetito says, my meal is ready. But unfortunately, the delivery charge was a little bit too much, so it will go over, and Buon Appetito actually reneges on it and comes back.
Just a little late, it's still good.
It's still good. It's about 5 days old. At this point, though, New Zealand,
You've had old pizza, you've reheated pizza, that's still good.
yeah, but not 5 days old, Tigger. That's
I mean,
a bit of bacteria.
yeah, fair.
At this point, though, New Zealand have won through every single lane, and it has just been up and up and up. Somnus is attracting 3 people.
Ooh,
Finally
caught.
gets dragged in. The ulti dropped down. Is there enough damage on him? He gets exhausted, but Tom Kench is here. Gets gobbled up. Everything burnt for no result.
It's so weird that I see those 3 people chasing down Somnus, and after that mid-fight, all I'm thinking to myself is, he's going to turn this around somehow.
And he can.
He has. Now in mid, DK, another player, where I look at these fights, 2 versus 4, and I see these numbers and I think to myself, DK will take this fight.
Right now, I'm expecting a full health Nidalee spear. That's a 6-2 Nidalee. White palette, although yes, maybe not the start we were talking about in previous games.
No Medjai's yet.
Yet.
The Dark Seal is there.
Might evolve to something else. It's just going to go to Infernal Drake, and at this point, You got to remember, we're in a best of 3. Now, New South Wales put up a great fight against Queensland, but New Zealand are making this look absolutely insanely good for them. They'll pick up an Infernal. And Lemon Lord's just 1v1ing the Olaf.
Lemon Lord this whole game has ran at everyone like an Olaf would. He is more than happy to just walk forward. So is Buon Appetito.
Finds one. Lemon Lord walks past the clam. Sominus gets the full culling out. Here goes Stoneblock. He flashes out, but DK's in on the side. The Stand United does nothing. A good charm onto Sominus, but he's got so much health with the Black Cleaver. Tarmkench is here again. Lemon Lord drops the Ignite, and New Zealand, what a walk towards that grand final, and righteously so. Fried Rice walks back in, and Tegan, at this point, you're thinking, New Zealand, you are absolute monsters.
There is an inhibitor tower to take right now, but
What
they
is
are
happening?
in the fountain, trying to farm the New South Wales team.
Fried Rice misses, and DK gets the third proc. Rooted up, Buon Appetito doesn't care. DK underneath the turret doesn't care. And this New Zealand lineup are absolutely bonkers. Buon Appetito walks forward, Root lands again, and I don't know what's going on.
They are unkillable, are the New Zealand team. Look at their health bars, but they feel so secure in a fight right now.
There's a lockdown, but DK still doesn't die. White Pallet still... Oh, no, yes, he does die. Super Mega Death Rocket from Penguin Lord, and the Jinx is feeling happy. Finally, something coming through from New South Wales. They walk forward, trying to progress in this series. But New Zealand just back away, and it's the 20-minute mark now. The inhibitor drops.
I'm convinced at this point it's Buon Appetito spitting himself out that way.
You reckon?
That's the third time. I mean, it has to be. Surely.
Ambitious, Tegan.
Oh.
Well, Baron's up now. 3-26. This is an absolute, I'm going to use the word
27.
shellacking. And another kill goes to DK. That's 10-0-5 Vane. Sominus is 1v3ing. Double kill. What?
I have a question for you.
Is it a good time?
Do you remember this? Yes, it is. It's perfect time. What did I say about Vane and the scoreline before this game started?
Is it 10-0 or 0-10? This is a 10-0 Vane.
DK is a 10-0 Vane, and all he does is go forward. Every time he sees someone, he's thinking to himself, how can I win this fight?
But on that regard as well, Sominus is the same. Look, there's a Tarmkench here again. Ragnarok has to be popped, and look, props to New South Wales at this point. They're still putting up a very good fight. And this is just, again, New Zealand dominating. 20k gold lead at 21 minutes. But New South Wales putting up a fight. They've got to get some props.
Oh, for
at the
sure.
very least.
Without a doubt. They won the first game against Queensland. First game against New Zealand in the early game, they looked solid against a superior opponent. And here, against all odds, they don't give up.
No, Expelliarmus, speaking of not giving up, he tries to find White Pallet, almost does. The spear narrowly misses. Sominus misses the dash over the wall. Fried Rice and Wowso Pro looking for that ambitious play, but New Zealand are starting to put that clamp on, looking for the end. Expelliarmus will survive another day.
Looking for the end, and the easiest path to finish is Baron.
Yep.
As we all know, get Baron, you can push through any lane, the game is over, and there is no way New South Wales can steal this Baron.
No, this is going down so quick as well.
The only hope they have, and I must stress that it is an outlandish hope, is to sit in the jungle and look for someone. Look for a straggler. DK teasing a recall there. Stoneblock is the straggler that's caught though.
Dredge lines there, everyone flashes forward, they want him so badly. Sominus will be the one to claim it, another 10-0 AD carry.
10-0-4 and 10-0-5 are their marksmen this game.
Oh, Fried Rice.
Stand
Stand United,
He's
does
trying.
he die? Does he die?
He's alive!
No, he lives. But he jumps back. Inhibitor goes down, teleports here, and New Zealand slowly putting the clamps down once again.
Dominant this whole game have been New Zealand.
Oh, DK's actually burned ultimate. They find him, though. The AD carry from New Zealand. An opportunity arises. Can they kill him? It doesn't look like they can. Heal burnt as well. DK lives.
How?
A double kill goes to Pallet, and T-Gun is in shock. But you know who's not in shock? New Zealand, as they walk forward confidently, Mr. T-Gun. They get themselves a 2-0. And against New South Wales, it was a valiant effort, but they moved to the final on October 20.
3 deaths the whole game, 4 people, 0 deaths. Incredibly dominant were New Zealand that game. all day long.
Absolutely.
All day long. They were just unstoppable. What a team they have put together.
It was like a 25k gold lead by the end of that game, and New Zealand showing they're in a league of their own. At this point, you've got to say, the other bracket are saying, this is going to be a difficult grand final, whoever gets through out of the 4 regions.
But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but that was just impressive all day long.
Yep.
We still have another 4 games tomorrow, potentially 5, to find out who meets New Zealand in the grand finals.
Let's find out. Because if this bracket was as dominant as it was, I'm curious about this one tomorrow.
Well, we have to find out. Obviously, we don't know too much about the teams. I've done my homework researching the individual players, as I've done with Somnus, but we just saw. I was expecting Somnus to be the standout player from New Zealand, and it was not that way. He was great, mind you, but so was DK, so was White Palette, and the supporting cast in Buon Appetito and Lemon Lord. New Zealand squad as a whole have shown up today, and tomorrow, one of those teams will meet them in the finals, and they have to show up as well.
We'll see if they can bleed for New Zealand, that grand final. Remember, a best of 5. The qualifications happening through on the 20th. That's the grand final, excuse me. We're going to wait till tomorrow to see our next 4 regions. Thank you very much to Bradley Teagut Seymour. My name is Asterix, and we'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. for our other side of the bracket for the High School Nationals.